Welcome to the Gray Area. The Gray Area Media. We've obligated ourselves to be the voice for all communities speaking on technology, sports, health, and wellness. The Gray Area Media is a platform created by longtime friends for the sole purpose of providing our communities with the ability to voice current, past, and modern-day issues. The Gray Area, in its naming significance, solely speaks to the area in which people shy away from speaking because of media-based constraints or contractual-based obligations. Well, I'm here to tell you, we don't do that here. So please, stay tuned in. We're going to go live in a few minutes. Don't forget, please add us as a friend on Facebook so that you can follow our live feed. And not only that, please add us on Twitter and Instagram at The Gray Area Media. Please visit our website at www.thegrayareamedialive.com. Thank you. Hello, Facebook. We are live right now, and we have a very special guest for you today. This is The Gray Area, and this is your boy, Ray E.
This is your boy, P. Wills.
Miss Ebony Crow in the building.
Ebony.
I'm going to stop saying your government. And our brother, Nuri Muhammad.
Yes,
How you
sir.
doing, man?
Man, I'm honored to be here on the air with you, Brother Ray. It's my honor to be in unity with you and Brother Pat and Sister Ebony.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Hopefully we can in unity launch an airstrike on envy, jealousy, falsehood,
Absolutely.
and all other forms of negativity that
Absolutely.
No, I said it right the first.
Yeah.
That plague our people.
Absolutely.
But it's an honor, my brother. Thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we're going to speak on, we're going to talk to you today. You do a lot of traveling, man, speaking all over the country, going to different places and just a wide range of things, but you're also a business owner.
Yes, sir. In an extent, you know,
Yeah.
in one sense, I feel like, you know, Jay-Z.
Absolutely.
I'm not a businessman. I am a businessman.
Okay.
So,
Absolutely.
But you know, accidentally on purpose, Brother Ray,
Yeah.
I became people like the way that I represented the truth. They considered it to be a user-friendly way to break down the struggle of black people, education,
Absolutely.
wealth building, politics, life skills, goal setting,
Absolutely.
and of course the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
For sure.
And from that, I've been invited a lot to
Right.
different places, and that is my primary function. And of course, we also have right there on 38th Street.
Mm-hmm.
We're just 2 blocks west of the White Casket.
Mm-hmm.
I mean White Castle.
I know what you meant.
And a half a block, you know, west of McDevil's.
For sure.
A block and a half west of Long John Killers, and 3 blocks from the Murder King. We have, you know, our own restaurant there.
Absolutely.
Eat to Live Cafe.
Absolutely.
And we have our beauty and barber shop as well, Salon 74. And inside we also have K through 6. Muhammad University is our school. And daycare in there as well. That we're not doing it right now, but soon we'll be getting back going with that. But yes, sir. So those are that, and of course, I don't want to take any credit for it. You know, I may have been the person spearheading it.
Sure.
But the greatest man that we've ever heard of in any history or scripture, Bible or Quran, is a man named Jesus.
Absolutely.
And as great as he was,
Right.
he said, "I can of my own self
Right.
do nothing."
Absolutely.
So, you know, success is a team sport, and any success we have, of course, you know it, right here from the Gray Area Media production, that it's a team sport. So I can't take the credit. It is the captains, the lieutenants, the secretary, the protocol, it's the squad leaders, and it's the frontline soldiers over there that continue to go out in the community to try to win our people over to eat, to live, instead of eating to taste good and eating to die, and to come send their children to a good, God-centered, black excellence academy, which is what Muhammad University is.
Right. Can you expound on the importance of the community building in such the way that you guys do? And I mean, I think it's astounding, and I think people really need to understand the importance of unity when it comes to business ownership.
Well, this is of course, as you all have seen, and not just Indianapolis, but anywhere you've traveled, there's always a fundamental difference between a black community and a white community.
Right.
Okay.
Normally, you find a black community is the hood.
Right.
And I figured out, brother Pat,
What's
the
that,
reason
sir?
why we call it the hood
What's that, sir?
instead of the neighborhood is because the concept and function of neighbor is missing from our communities. Well, what you'll see different between the black and the white community is that in the white community, you have a few worship centers and many businesses.
Right.
But in the black community, you got a few businesses and many worship centers.
Wow.
Every time a school shut down, somebody go in there and turn it into a church. Every time a hardware store shut down, a grocery store, somebody goes in and turns the grocery store and a hardware store into a church. Every time that a theater shuts down in any city, somebody goes in and turns a theater into a church. And we have right now churches on every corner in every black community in every major city, including the Nappy City. But our condition has not seemed to have gotten better. Maybe we need to take a page out of the white man's book.
Okay.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said like this, he said, study the white man, he is successful.
Right.
He makes no excuses for his failures. He works together in a collective manner, you must do the same. So we need to convert it and go from many worship centers to a few businesses to just a few worship centers.
Right. Right.
I mean, how many Baptist churches do you need?
Right.
How many denominations? I mean, so let's go for few worship centers, many businesses, and that way you can have religion, and in a real way. I call it real religion,
Right.
where it's practically applied, and it's not something you put on Sunday and take off on Monday morning, but it's a way of life that you can live everywhere you go. So that is kind of where our concept came. We wanted to set an example of what works with faith should look like and what applied faith is.
Absolutely.
And if all applied faith and if all faith working for faith is just recruitment of new members, but it's not providing jobs and training, then we are hustling backwards in street terms.
So why do you think that is, sir? I mean, do you think that us as a people that we spend more time, praying instead of showing action?
Unfortunately, religion is the #1 used controlled substance on the planet.
Wow.
People are more addicted to religion than they are to anything else. So what we're doing is we're using hope to cope. And that's not what church is supposed to be for.
Okay.
Church is supposed to be an institution that does not just inspire but provides information and inspiration that makes the person that's the partitioner or the parishioner or the worshiper come out of there empowered, ready to go out and use that church as a launching pad to go out and activate
Absolutely.
the will of God in their life. Do you know that we had a brother that's here that we grew up with that got killed last night? And it happens in every city. And brother Ray, in every city we've gone in, every time somebody dies in the hood, it's the same response. Show up, RIP t-shirts.
Right.
Here comes the prayer van.
Right.
Reverend, everybody come out there, everybody holds hands. And I said, man, I don't know about you, but I hate seeing black people die.
Right.
Yeah.
It hurts me every single time I see the news and see another young soldier taken out by friendly fire.
Right.
And so I said, I'm going to go to one of these prayer vigils to see, because as long as I've been living, we've been having them. But also as long as I've been living, we've been dying.
Right.
So I said, either the prayers aren't working, or B, they're saying the wrong thing when they pray, or C, maybe they're praying to the wrong God, or maybe D, it's all of the above. I don't know.
Right.
So I went, I got in the circle, and Reverend was doing real good in the beginning. And I don't know about when y'all used to go to church when you were young, every now and then, whenever, deacon or somebody starts slipping, there was a way you could look around without nobody knowing you was looking around.
Right.
Head bent down and you just squint a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I started looking around because Reverend said this. He started off perfect. Lord, we asking you this day to bless the family of so-and-so with a peace that surpasses all understanding.
Right.
Then he said this. He said, Lord God, we demand of you some answers this day. Why do you, Lord, let so much crime and death take place in our neighborhood, Lord? Why do you let so much poverty and want be in our community, Lord? And I looked at him, I said, the Lord can look over at us and say, I was going to ask y'all the same question. After all, I created you in my image and after my likeness. Right. Which means that you're not a duplicate of me, you are a replica of me.
Oh, wow.
A duplicate and a replica is not, a duplicate can look like, but it lacks the power and the function.
Right.
But a replica doesn't just look like, it has the same power and function.
Absolutely.
So image and likeness means we got power and function.
Right.
If we're in the image and likeness of God, everything that's true about God is true about us.
Right.
Whatever he can do as an individual entity, if we come together as an us, two or more gather together in his name, there I am also, then we can do what he can do so we can answer our own prayers to some extent.
Right.
So I think that that's what's missing, Brother Pat, is that we have a spooky approach to religion, and we are hanging on certain verses and disregarding certain other ones. Everybody knows John 3:16. But why come we don't remember Psalms 82 verse 6? Ye are all God's children of the Most High God.
Exactly.
Why come we don't talk about when Jesus said that I've gone forth to prepare a place for you, that where I am you may also be. Be ye perfect,
Right.
even as your Father in heaven art perfect.
Right.
John 5,
And then he tells us, greater work shall you do that are in the world than even what I have done. And then Solomon told us in the earlier verses that you judge a tree by the fruit it bears and a man by his works. So if we can do a greater work than what Jesus did, and you judge a man by his works, Jesus is saying, I'm not looking for you to just be like me. I want you to stand on my shoulders and take what I did to another level.
Right.
So I think that that's missing. I think that's missing in the religious teaching is most people do religion to worship God, but you really should be doing religion to become him.
Right. Right.
And that's the separation of the
Yeah, it
Nation of
is.
Islam. We don't do religion to worship God. We do religion to become just like him.
Right.
And see, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and you spoke on some of this, but what are some of those things that we need to start doing to take advantage of that? You know, you guys are a prime example of a street force that goes out and does some of the things that you guys are saying, you know, and quadruples that in different cities or whatnot. You guys travel and speak and do all these different things. What does the church need to do? Because you know, we're coinciding with two of the biggest religions.
That's right.
But that doesn't mean that we're not going toward the same goal.
Yes,
so
right.
ultimately, you know, what are some of the things that they need to do, you know, in Christian churches, because there's a lot of them, to pull this in, to reel it in, because I mean, we had a pastor in a few weeks ago. Shout out to Turning Point Christian Church.
Yes.
They're doing a lot of work on the
Right
east
down the
side.
street.
Yeah, they do a lot of work on
Good-
the east
good people.
side,
Good
and
people.
you know, and handling business. And one of the rare churches that are actually out hitting the streets.
That's right.
Yeah. That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
doing that. You know, so
But there's the answer.
yeah,
See, if the pulpit is a powerful place,
okay,
but for instance, in Indianapolis, whenever we fight for any social justice matter,
right,
the reverend might show up, but when we come to the rally, none of the members of the church show up. I don't care who it is and how big the preacher is. I've never seen one be able to get more than 5 of their church members to show up
oh boy,
for something that we are doing that's attacking social ills.
right,
So there has to be an instructional element inside of the church where everybody understands that we didn't come here to be hearers of the word, but we came here to become doers of the word.
right,
That faith without works is dead.
Right.
And the original symbol of the church or Christianity was not a cross.
It's a fish.
It was a fish.
right,
And every disciple that Jesus met, almost all of them were all in the fishing business.
right,
He's seen James and he's seen Matthew and he's seen John. But all three, he said, look, you have cast your net on the other side. They caught fish. He said, how would you like to come with me and I make you a fisher
Right.
of men.
Right.
So the church, the members of the church have to find a user-friendly way of teaching the fundamental principles of Jesus and of what they believe in a way that they can go out into the sea of sin and begin to change the lives of those that are out there.
Right.
But it can't be beating tambourines. It can't be singing in the choir.
The same old.
It can't be the same old in-house rituals. The real church is in the streets.
Exactly.
So you have to, I call it, you have to have a mobile mosque. You got to have a mobile mosque. And you have to have a traveling church.
Right.
A walking worship center. So get out in the field and not in a judgmental way, not in a dogmatic way, but come and drop jewels of wisdom on the young soldiers in the streets.
Right.
Drop some nuggets on them. Give them some news that they can use.
Right.
And that's what the good news is. It's news that you can use. And I think that if we would take that approach and get out into the streets where our people are.
Right.
Because unfortunately, the majority of the churches, 89 to 90% of the population is older women.
Right. That's true.
The young soldiers that's in the field, they're not with it.
Right. Do you think that a lot of that is because of the incarceration and the deaths of black men, the deconstruction of the black man's livelihood? What do you think contributed to that?
Well, it's that, right now, the statistic is ridiculously alarming. Do you know there's more black males born than black females? But by the time the two reach the age 18, black females outnumber black males 7 to 1.
Yeah.
Which means that black males are dying at the rate of an endangered species. And we did research in the history and found that the koala bear, the bald eagle, the blue whale, the white tiger, no creature has ever went endangered unless somebody was hunting that creature.
Wow.
So if we are black males going in danger, somebody's hunting us. And if you look up the definition of what hunting is, it is the willful intent of someone to murder someone for sport, game, or for food. We are being hunted. And we're not just being killed or hunted by the Ku Klux Klan, aka the police department. They hunting us.
Right.
They don't give the whole math. We get a few. We get Tamir Rice. We get Alton Sterling. We get Sandra Bland. We get Freddie Gray. We get Trayvon Martin. But there's every 3 years there's 2,000 to 3,000 black males killed by police officers or correctional officers. That's hunting.
Yeah.
But what's worse is that in that same 3-year time, 25,000 black males are killed by other black males. So we are being hunted from the outside in, and we're also hunting each other from the inside out. That math has something to do with it.
Right.
But the other side of it is time dictates the agenda. And if you do anything and you're not doing it in step with time, even if it's good, it's not going to work. If you do the wrong thing at the wrong time, that's a disaster.
Right.
If you do the wrong thing at the right time, that's called a mistake. But even if you do the right thing, but you're doing the right thing at the wrong time, you're going to meet resistance. The only way you can have success is by doing the right thing at the right time. This generation that you all and that we are in, this generation, the millennials, and this new young soldier that's coming up, this is not, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said this. He said, this is not a generation of hope or a generation of faith. This is the generation of fulfillment. So if all you talking is you got to have hope, and you got to believe, and don't let go and let God and trust and believe He's going to work it out. Wait on your change to come. That is not the frequency of this present generation. This is not the generation born to be in bondage under Pharaoh. This is that generation born to stop into the promised land and kill the giants and take the promised land for God and for right. So when you're not talking soldier language, dealing with these young people, they don't want to hear nothing that you have to say. So there has to be the reintroduction of the revolutionary black Messiah inside of the church. There has to be a black theology that is taught. Nobody wants to come and see a picture and they not in it and they know they were supposed to be there.
Right.
Snapshot right now.
Right.
Later on, you get that picture. Who's the first person you're gonna look for?
Yourself.
Yourself.
Right.
So what happens is when we in religion or we in school, our genetic memory says we were there.
Right.
Something telling me we haven't even read that Moses stuck his hand into the bosom of the Lord and it was turned white, which means it had to go in black. We haven't even read that.
Right.
We didn't read that Abraham went to Egypt and was mistaken for being an Egyptian, and Egypt's in Africa.
Right.
Means land of black and burnt skinned people, so he had to have some black. We don't even know that. We don't even know Jesus had hair like lamb's wool, feet like brass, burned in the oven, complexion like that of jasper, sardine stone, or olive. We don't even think that. But in our genetic memory, we know. I was there.
Right.
But I open up and I see the picture in religion. I see white angels. I see a white savior. I see white prophets, white disciples. I go to school. Every time I see black people, we never learn about ourselves other than from the cotton field to the current and from plantation to the present.
Right.
We've never been taught about black people before slavery.
Right.
What did we used to operate like before we got kidnapped and Caucasianized and westernized?
Right.
Show me Imhotep. Show me King Tut. Show me Shaka Zulu. Show me Queen Nzinga. Show me the great ones that built the pyramids. Let me learn something about them.
Right. Right.
But all you have is the accomplishments of a slave under the slave master. So what is happening is in school and in church, we're looking at a picture. We know we were there, but I was right there.
Yeah, but you can't identify with it because you don't see yourself.
I was in this picture's a fraud. I ain't fooling with it no more.
Right.
So we don't want to go to church.
Right.
And we don't want to go to school because we know we were there.
Right.
But the picture that's being shown to us doesn't have us included.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm sorry. I mean,
Since we are the generation of fulfillment, do you think that, or how would you explain how there is a strong force to make sure that this generation doesn't do what it's that it's predestined and ordained to do, such as the emasculation of the male and everything that that our generation has against it right now?
Well, we under attack.
Yeah.
We under attack like never has been before, because we are the number one threat. See, in physics they know this, that a rising force automatically brings down and tears up a falling force. Well, white supremacy is dying. The wickedness of the world is falling. The economy's $84 billion a year has to be dumped into the American economy just to keep this thing propped up. It's not even real no more.
Wow.
So they know that our rise means that they will come down. So they have to work. And you can see it in the scripture.
Right.
It tells.
Absolutely.
And Pharaoh said, kill all the boy babies.
yeah.
Firstborn. Then King Herod comes along. He said, look, kill all the boy babies 2 years old just in case we miss some.
Yeah.
You go in the counterintelligence program of J. Edgar Hoover, he's saying the same thing. We must prevent the rise of a black Messiah. And then the final goal was that we must keep the nationalists and the revolutionary movements from attracting specifically young people, and strategy must be employed to do so. So now the dope is everywhere. Everybody's on something.
Heroin's back.
Heroin's back, and this ain't
being treated differently.
Yeah, because white people's
Right.
on it.
Yeah.
The number one heroin users are white males, 40 and above with jobs. It backfired.
Right.
And now we got to come out with something to shoot them up and save them. But now they have, we called heroin boy when we was coming in up.
Right.
But this new heroin they have on the scene with elephant tranquilizers in it, this ain't boy, this is a grown man.
Right.
Edited version for radio.
Yeah.
But this is something totally different.
Right.
So now the marijuana, this ain't the Bob Marley. This is not the Buddha.
Right.
It's
Right.
not the joints that people smoked back in the day. This is weaponized marijuana that is more potent,
Right.
and it's addictive now.
Right.
And it's being used. It's so much. It's being used the same way that they use psychiatric medication.
Right.
They shut down all the insane asylums because it was costing too much money to run them. And they figured out a way to drug everybody with a so-called mental condition where they have a whole nation of walking dead.
Right.
you're non-threatening, you're neutral, but you're non-existent.
Right.
You're just here, but you're of no value and function to the rest of the world.
Right.
But so now marijuana, see, crack cocaine causes robbery and killing. Heroin causes me to have to keep on going to the hospital, and I don't have no insurance.
Right.
So now you're messing with the American economy that supports the system of white supremacy. Then you're robbing, you're stealing. You're going to keep going to jail. This is a problem. So how can I find something that I can give you that can still have you under control,
Right.
but you won't go to the hospital with no insurance and you won't be robbing me? Oh, this is it. Here you go. Smoke this.
Right.
Matter of fact, it's going to be legal.
Oh yeah.
And if it's legal, it can't be wrong. Scripture says there's a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the ends thereof are the ways of death. So,
Wow.
you know, that is the mathematics that we are faced with. And the good thing I can say is this, that I read the end of the book already. I went ahead and skipped to the end. And we win. So even though we might lose some battles, no, we're not going to lose the war.
That's written.
No, Robin Harris said it like this: we baby's kids.
We don't die, we multiply.
You know something about that, but Pat? We don't die, we multiply. You can't get rid of us.
And it took me a while to really dig into this, but we're going to go to politics, and really, politics is a fiction thing to me. It took me a while to figure that out. You know, but after several different instances and losses and different things that I've seen, if you didn't get woke up from what politics was in this past election, I don't know what you watching.
Come on now, come on.
Because you know, for someone to be to win a political office with those attributes, personal attributes in life, and just things that's a wake up call. Do you feel like there has been an awakening because of that? Like, what do you think? What have you seen happen? You know, because of this election.
I think that the alarm clock. I think that Donald Trump represents a good alarm clock, and we are starting to wake up. One of the unfortunate side effects of having a black man in the White House, Barack Obama, is that we became a victim of the illusion of inclusion.
Oh.
See, we were under. See, you said it right. This is fake. It's politics.
Right.
See, politics is all about sleight of the hand. It's all about distracting the conscious mind so they can do something else that your subconscious mind picked up, but you don't know how it happened. You don't know how did he pull that out of that hat. How did he go all the way to Hawaii?
Right.
So we were under the illusion of inclusion.
Right.
I'll never forget, you know, when Obama was running for office, I'm going to be honest, I was geeked.
Right.
I was so excited, and what I liked the most is that we had gotten used to seeing black men out jump, out run, black women out sing, out dance.
Right.
But when I was watching him on them debates, he was looking at a black man outthink white people. And that touched me.
Yeah.
And I was getting text messages. It was almost like the Underground Railroad via text message. I don't know if I had one text message that said it'd be a cold day in hell before a black man be president of the United States. It was 28 degrees during the inauguration.
Wow.
I had another one that said the day before a black man be president, they said pigs will fly, and here come the swine flu.
Oh.
I had another one they had turned Obama and McCain into an acronym.
Yeah.
Obama, obviously, blacks are moving America. McCain, maybe crackers can accept it now. And then my last one I got from my cousin, he said this. He said, they say it ain't over till the fat lady singing Aretha Franklin did the national anthem. But we was excited.
Right.
But we were under the illusion of inclusion.
Right.
We assumed that he was going to be the president for black people because he was a black man.
Right.
And he did a good job really being the president for everybody else but us.
Absolutely. Yeah.
He got in, and I was in the locker room. The brother said to me, he said, hey, we in there. I was like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? The White House. I said, no, he in there.
Right.
We in here.
Yeah.
So I never seen so many black people waving them little American flags again. I never seen so many black people getting all patriotic and sentimental and hand over the heart And I have never understood, Brother Pat, how do we get real mad when we see the Confederate flag, but get emotional and sentimental when we see the American flag?
Right.
Do you know that we were only under the Confederate flag for 10 years? So all the hell we talking about in our history was under that American flag. And last I checked, they really are the same flag. They just organized different. Both of them red, white, and blue. Both of them are made of stars and stripes. It's the same emblem, just organized different, and we caught the same hell under both of them. The American flag, we just caught it a little bit longer.
Right.
But because Obama became in office, we were thinking that, man, this is our time. We're going to be able to change these laws. My cousins and them on these nonviolent offenders are going to get out. Now, he did do a good job.
Right.
Obama did let out more nonviolent offenders from prison than any president in history.
Right.
And we salute him for that. We salute him for being a dignified black man. And as Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. He never stooped down in the mud to deal with the fools that was messing with him, including the one that's in the White House right now.
Right.
He was one of the same ones talking about he's not a legitimate American. He's not born here. But I said on the radio, a brother called in and asked a similar question. Brother Ray, he said, man, what we gonna do, man, these next 4 years, man, that Trump is gonna be here. What's it gonna be for us? I said, hell, the same as the last 400 years.
Right.
Like this is Trump. This ain't the first Donald Trump in the White House. We had 43 of them before this one.
Right.
So no, don't you let a toddler president keep you from doing grown folks' business.
Right.
We
Oh,
got
they take
grown
pride
folks'
in him
business.
too. Oh,
We
they
got
take pride.
Let them
in
take
him,
it.
man.
Let them take it. You know, him and his hair. Take all the pride y'all want in him.
You know what I realized about Obama? After it took me a while to get this too. He is a president that got into office and wanted to help everybody, but not a particular group of people.
Well, he had good motives.
Right.
And he had good intentions. The Honorable Minister was Farrakhan. He made this statement once. He said that what people don't realize is that there is electrical charges inside of that chair in the Oval Office. And as soon as you sit down in it, you realize that you really ain't in control. See, the president is just a quarterback for a team white supremacy.
Ooh, break that down.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, break that down.
In the NFL, they never had black quarterbacks for a long time. But when that traditional white pocket quarterback, when them linemen, 300 pounds, running running fast and jumping and moving, he's getting sacked. So next thing you know, this might be before your time, Doug Williams.
Yeah,
I remember Doug.
Remember Doug?
Yeah.
Donovan McNabb.
Warren Moon.
Okay.
Yeah, Warren Moon. This the black quarterbacks that have to be now, because why? They realize that whenever that blitz is called, I need somebody that can move around and throw the ball.
Right. Right.
So when they hired Barack Obama, he was black quarterback for team white supremacy.
What do you think
He
they
wasn't.
still
But
hate?
look at this. He's not the coach.
Okay. There you go.
He wasn't the general manager. He was not the owner.
All right.
Somebody calling plays for him. Donald Trump, believe it or not, he's the same.
Right.
He's just a little bit more of a rebellious
Right.
quarterback. He's not a black quarterback. He's a rebellious white quarterback because he's been raised not with a silver spoon, but with a platinum spoon in his mouth.
Right.
You dealing with a white man that has never heard the words no.
Right. Absolutely.
Mommy, daddy, can we go there? No.
Right.
Can I have that car? No. Can I have those clothes? No. He's never heard no before.
Right.
So he has an arrogance that came in his nature
Right.
that's been multiplied by his circumstance.
Right.
So he's a different kind of white man. The good thing is for us is that it's very clear that we're not going to be able to get nothing from the political arena as long as he's the boss.
Yeah.
And guess what? We went in. We was in Houston. We were in Detroit, Denver. I always ask. I said, "How many Asians do you all have on the school board?" None. How many Asians do you all have in city council? We don't have none. How many Asians do you congressmen or senators? We have none.
Right.
I said, but in every major city, there's a little Korea, There's a Chinatown. I said, so they have power with no politics.
Right.
Black people have politics
with no power.
We are the #1 voter registration group. We always work in the polls. We are the professional yard sign putter outers. I know they ain't no real title, but y'all understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't nobody campaign for others and vote for self like we do.
Right.
But we don't have no power yet.
Right.
Maybe power doesn't come from politics. So the minister said it like this. He said, politics without economics is symbol without substance. Politics is nothing but a system of the distribution of power. But if you don't have no power, if you get into politics, you're going to be distributing somebody else's power on their behalf.
Right.
We have to start first
Right.
with development of independent economic institutions in our communities. And get out of this colony function into the community function.
Right.
See, a colony is whenever people don't live in an environment, come and do business there and take your money somewhere else and use your blood or energy for the other community.
Right.
Is that us?
Yeah.
In every black community, you got an Italian pizzeria.
Yep.
You got an Indian-owned cell phone shop. Some Arabs have a little convenience store attached to a gas station.
Gas station.
We got a Korean-owned hair supply and a Korean-owned nail tech, a white man-owned payday loan, and a Jewish-owned pawn shop. That's in every neighborhood that's black but we don't so don't none of them live there. So they don't take the money that they make from business to reinvest in that environment to make it property value go up. They don't even sponsor the little league teams.
Even the Latinos.
They don't do nothing.
Yeah. They get their stuff and then move out.
So my point is that a community means that we have to start controlling the market. And not only this, I was asking them I did the Black Business Expo.
Okay.
And I asked all the black business people, I said, do any of the foreigners in our community ever shop at any of your businesses? No, never. I said, so you mean tell me y'all go to the beauty supply, you get all your neck strips, you get all your capes, you get all your aprons, you get all your clippers, you get all your hair. I mean, black people buy some hair, that's an unbelievable amount of hair. Y'all didn't catch that.
Got it.
I caught it.
Yeah.
I said, sister, do any of them come get their hair done by you? None. Do any of them come get their hair cut by you? None. So we buy everything from them, and they do nothing for us. They don't eat at our restaurants, but we eat at theirs. So something's wrong with us. That you can't go to Chinatown and find nobody, ain't no black people in Chinatown selling no egg foo young or shrimp fried rice. They don't play that. But we do.
Right.
So we gotta get from colony to community, and it takes us starting businesses again.
Right. That's buying land, buying businesses, and let's talk about the financial part of it, because I know that as a group we can do all kinds of things, but financially it's not being taught. We're not being taught finance education until you get out of high school.
And you have to learn on your own.
Right.
Do you know in 1857, the United States Congress met and discussed whether they were going to let the slaves or black people get higher learning? This is whenever Howard University was getting ready to open.
Right.
Okay.
They voted two things. One, we'll let them get higher learning, but they cannot go to any white colleges, universities. Two, when they open up their own black university, there's 3 sciences that the slaves must never be taught. This is in the official record in Congress.
Wow.
Okay.
Number 1, they cannot be taught the science of mating, meaning don't teach them how to choose a good man or a good woman. Don't teach them the other side of maintenance parenting. Don't teach them how to raise their children. Number 2, don't teach them science of warfare. Number 3, do not teach them the science of business. So we've never been taught business. So we got $1.1 trillion these last 3 years that have come into the black community. Do you know out of 195 nations in the world, black people in America are the 8th richest nation on earth? 1.1. Do you know we have $500 billion more than Mexico?
Wow.
As a country. $400 billion more than Spain. Now Spain has the same 46 million people we have.
And that's just USA.
That's USA black man.
And we're only 13% of the country.
And and they got 208,000 square miles of land in Spain. They have their own system of government. They have their own school system. Everything they need to have an independent nation with $400 billion less than we do. And you telling me that we can't have our own shoe company?
Right.
Like the balls is trying to do.
Yeah.
You telling me that we can't have grocery stores? Do you know how many black grocery stores there are in the United States of America?
Probably like 3.
Not very many.
6.
Yeah.
Wow.
In the whole country.
Wow.
But every black person on earth goes to a grocery store.
Right.
Right.
Something's wrong with our. So what has happened to us, Brother Ray, is it shows that we have dollars,
That's the
Okay.
question.
but we lack sense.
Right.
Yes.
We know how to make money.
We are the leaders in unnecessary spending.
Right.
You know, unnecessary spending is spending money that you don't have to buy stuff you don't need
Right.
Right.
from people that you don't like to impress people that you don't even know. That's us. They have something in psychology now that they call retail therapy.
Right.
It is a psychological condition that the opiates in the brain are lifted from people that shop a lot, the same way a drug user would.
Right.
Do you know who the leaders of retail therapy are?
Yes.
Black folks.
Black people. We got to have the name brand,
Right.
you know?
Right.
If it don't have the little white dude on the horse, I can't wear that.
Materialistic. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't go outside without some $1,200 pants on.
Right.
A brother came to me the other day at the Indian restaurant. I had my whole family there, and he came in there with it was a little cold. He had on a brand new. I could still smell the leather, full leather Pelly. I know for sure it was at least $1,600.
Wow.
He had on some True Religion jeans. He had on some Timberland boots, and he came in there and said, "Hey, my car broke down." I said, I need like $5 to get some gas."
Wow.
I said, "Brother, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and give you this.
Right.
But the next time you go out and spend that kind of money on
Right.
some clothes, you got to think about life."
Right.
I said, "Cause I'm sitting in here in this regular little Old Navy stuff,
Right.
and now you have an emergency because you didn't spend your money foolishly,
Right.
and I have something to give you because I didn't. That's not good math. So what has to happen with us is we have to take more pride in building a community.
Right.
And really, it has to be taught to our young girls in general, but in specific our young boys. They have to know that you are more of a man to be doing business for yourself, making $20,000 a year,
Right.
than clocking in on your enemy's job making $200,000 a year.
Man, I just asked you that. I just
Yeah.
last night I
Exactly
just
that.
asked you that same. I asked him last night. I said, "Would you rather work a job and get paid $1 million per year, or would you rather own your own business and get paid $100,000?" And the dialogue between me and Ray, he said that he didn't know. That's a tough one, and that's something that I'm struggling with now, because it's been pressing on me for like the last 3 or 4 months to really just focus on ownership. Like everything that I want to do,
Right.
I want to own and be able to pass it down to my boys.
That's right.
But some people are so dependent, and they're so comfortable that they don't want to take that step. They look at that dollar and say, "Wow, how can I turn that down?"
Yeah. But the thing that another page from the Asians book. When I was coming up, we used to make mockery of the clothes that the Koreans used to wear at the beauty supply place. And we used to make mockery that they used to sleep inside their business. They used to set up a cot and sleep in bed. I'm talking about men, women, and children.
Wow.
Right.
On 38th in Illinois.
Yeah.
ABC, whatever
Beauty
it was.
supply.
Yes.
Yep.
And we laughed at them. They didn't have no vehicles. They had little raggedy clothes, and they slept in there. But they stayed open. 5 years later, they wasn't sleeping in there no more.
Right.
Clothes was looking nice.
Yep.
Cars was riding good.
Yep.
See,
Multiplied stores.
We whenever
They're a franchise
you know,
now,
our
right?
problem, Brother Pat, is that we have not put enough deposits of knowledge inside of ourselves. That we need stuff outside of ourselves to make ourselves feel like we really something.
Yeah.
I was telling a brother this at our barbershop, and he said to me, he said, man, you telling the truth. He said, man, me and my partners, we went out the other night. We got out of town. We was going to go to the club.
Yeah.
We all got dressed. My partner realized, he started looking around. He couldn't find his jewelry. And he said, as soon as he couldn't find his jewelry, he said, I watched him get depressed.
Wow.
Wow.
He said he got sad. He put his head down. He sat down. And look what he said. He said, y'all go ahead and go without me. I ain't going.
Wow.
He didn't go because he didn't have his jewelry.
Oh, man.
He had them overnight him his jewelry. And he said, I walked down to the hotel lobby when he was opening the pack. He said he was so excited. He said as he started opening the pack and he grabbed his chains out, he said he put it on. He said it was on. I'm telling you, it's like Clark Kent winning the phone booth.
Wow.
He said after he put on his chains and his watch, he looked at me and said, boy, hey boy, I'm back.
Wow.
Where did you go? See,
Wow.
see, anytime you need something on the outside
Right.
to make yourself feel good on the inside, it's because you don't have enough on the inside. So two principles that we have to follow in our business startup. Number one, we cannot go and try to live off the business when we open it.
Right.
You can't as soon as you get the business, you got to have the new Escalade.
Right. Right.
Now drive something small and bunk up and live however you got to live.
Sacrifice.
Make the sacrifice to build the business.
Right.
Number two, never go into business with the mindset that I am going to be working less than I was working when I was working for the white man. This is the truth.
Yeah.
If you don't want to work a 9 to 5, you better be prepared to hustle 24/7.
Absolutely.
Because the Honorable Minister Farrakhan said for black people in America, business is not business. Business is warfare. So you got to be a soldier.
Right.
And you have to go to work. You have to have a battle plan. And what do they say in the Army? We do more before 9 a.m. Than most people do in their whole day. So when you go into business for yourself, you got to wake up early. It's the early bird that gets the worm.
Right.
The foundation of all success really is self-discipline.
Right.
And the foundation of self-discipline is waking up early.
Absolutely.
If you can wake up and hunt before everybody else hunts, you're going to catch something.
Right.
But that's business. So
Right.
we got to get back into that kind of pride.
Absolutely.
And another thing, too, a lot of our brothers and sisters, they have trades.
Yeah.
We got good plumbers. We got good electricians.
Right.
Got good carpenters. We got good brick masons. But all of them have bad habits.
Right. Right.
So there has to be a spiritual component to our economic development where we build a healthy relationship with God and a love for ourselves that we want to look out for ourselves.
Right.
When I first came in the nation, I learned how to eat to live by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And it's basically, the principle is eating 1 meal a day, fasting 3 days out of the month, and always eating the right foods. No pork, goal of being a vegetarian. So I started trying to get good food, and I went to a store called Good Earth. Anybody heard of it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So before I went to Good Earth, I used to go to Aldi's.
Okay. Yeah.
And Aldi's, you can go in there with a cart,
Fill up.
fill that thing to the rack, $37.
Yeah.
I went into the Good Earth and I grabbed the little, you know what I'm talking about, the little basket?
Yep.
I filled it up.
Right.
I'm like, there's no way. This little
Right.
basket, all this
Right.
37 cart, it's $12.
Yeah.
I got up there, she told me, yes, this would be $56. I said, $56? It's a basket full of stuff.
Right.
It's about 3 days of food.
Right.
And I said, I don't want none of it. Take it all. I don't want it. Take it.
Yeah.
And then she dropped something on me. She said, aren't you worth it? And I said, oh, man.
There it is.
Right.
Aren't you worth it? I said, give me half of it. I'm worth about half of that. but the point is,
Right.
see, when you understand your value,
Right.
you know, who you are and whose you are,
What you're inserting in yourself.
then now you start, you will be sober because you
Right.
don't want to put no poison
Right.
inside the temple.
Right.
You're right.
You know, this is the, you know, I told a brother the other day, he said, you know, that ain't necessarily the case. I mean, people, I said, well, let me ask you this. I said, if the first car that you bought you knew that day that that was the only car you'll ever be able to have the rest of your life, how would you have treated it?
Oh,
He
whole
said,
lot better.
Man, I would have been, I would have been treating it good.
Right.
I said, what kind of gas would you have put in? A premium. I said, how would you have made sure that you maintained it properly, kept it clean, kept it rust-free? Yes, yeah, outside and in wouldn't have been right.
Right.
I said, well, guess what? This is the only vehicle that you're ever going to get.
That's right.
And you know what I think? You know, I think people that don't view their body as a temple, you know, I think part of that is because they've been brainwashed to think that there's a better place than here.
Yeah,
So
there
they
it
just
is.
so they just mistreat their body.
Well,
Right.
then they say they, well, my 90-year-old grandma, she's been eating pork all her life, and she's still.
Yeah, yeah.
But what
Yeah,
was
but-
the quality of life
Yeah.
Right.
during your 90 years?
And she got that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday little kit on the table too.
Right,
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But
yeah,
the
yeah.
thing is this, you know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said this. He said, heaven and hell are not places. He said it's a state of mind, it's a state of being, and it's a condition of life. And technically, we've been knowing it. You know, if you read the scripture right,
It's in the Bible too.
it's all in
Oh,
there.
yeah.
We just trying to misunderstand it because we want to be happy about being handicapped and really be comfortable in our misery. So I'm going somewhere else after this. But Jesus said the kingdom of God or kingdom of heaven is where? Within you.
Right.
He said, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth
As it,
as it is in heaven.
Yeah.
Job said it like this. He said, look, my life is wind. He said, once I go down into the ground, I shall come up no more. The eyes that have seen me shall see me no more. The ears that have heard me shall hear me
No more.
no more. So when you start thinking of condition of life, state of being, state of mind, see they say heaven's out there and it's way past Pluto. Do you know Pluto's 4,600,000,000 miles away? Now, how we know? You say, well, Jesus went there. He said, going forth to prepare a place for me that where I am, you may also be. Do you know how Jesus left here? Jesus left on a cloud, quote unquote. This is
Okay.
just the story.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he shall return in a like manner. So Jesus' mode of transportation is a cloud. We looked on the NASA website. Higher moving clouds move at 60 to 100 miles per hour. Lower ones go 6 to 10 miles per hour. Average speed of a cloud is 60 miles per hour. At the rate of speed of 60 miles per hour, Pluto's 4,600,000,000 miles away from the sun. We're 93 million miles away from the sun. So Pluto's 4,507,000,000 miles away from us. He's going 60 miles per hour.
He hasn't
Do
made
you
that
know
yet.
how long it would take him to get out there at 60 miles per hour to go 4,507,000,000 miles? It would take him 8,569 years.
Yeah.
Problem. What year is this?
2017.
Yeah.
So he's only been traveling for 2017. He ain't even made the margin.
And he still
That's
gotta
not
come
what it's
back.
talking about.
Right.
Wow.
No,
Right.
we've been knowing it too. So when you ain't got no, somebody asks you to borrow some money and you don't have no, man, I'm broke as hell. Hot outside, you don't have no air conditioning. Man, I'm hot as hell. Wintertime come, you don't have no heat. It's cold as hell. Is that right?
Yeah.
You see somebody that's busted, man, he ugly as hell.
Right.
And if you think you're gonna die and float away, guess what you are? You crazy as hell.
Right.
No, you better work hard to secure something sound on the ground while you're still around.
Right.
On earth as it is in heaven. So that kind of spooky teaching
Yeah.
can make you feel like, but even technically it shouldn't, because we've been told, even in religion, that the way you qualify for another life is by doing this life right. How can you misuse this one? I mean, and then we got the nerve to call God Father.
Right.
What, did anybody in here have children?
Yes.
Yep.
Everybody do?
Yep.
Yes. Two
Now,
sons.
if you bought your children something expensive
I have.
and they
before.
mishandled it, treated
Oh.
it bad,
Oh.
Yeah, you won't get it again.
what you gonna tell? Look, see
That's
see
it.
that? No, you want what?
You won't get it
What
again.
did you do with the last PlayStation?
Right.
No, wait, no, you don't treat stuff right. You ain't getting nothing.
Right.
So if our Father who art in heaven is the Father, and He done watched us pork chop this life, He done watched us chitlin this life, He done watched us smoke this life and drink this life to death, dog it. What kind of Father will He be to say, you know what? you misused the last one, but here you go. He ain't giving you another one.
Right.
So no, this is something we have to try our best to. If there is something else later, the only way you're gonna get it is if you treat this one right. That's the point.
Absolutely.
But the best thing for us to do is to recognize the kingdom of heaven is within you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And didn't Jesus say the body is the temple of God? And any man that defileth the temple shall be destroyed. So we obligated to take care of it. You know.
Absolutely.
Thus saith the Lord.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I came that you might have life.
Mm.
And he said might or may. That's conditional. You may have life and have it more abundantly. So he wants us to have a long quantity and a great quality of life.
Yeah.
Let's take care of it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Our viewers are actually mentioned in the book that that your dietary custom.
How to eat to live.
How to eat to live, yes.
Right.
One and someone said one and two.
Don't forget.
Yeah. And that was written in what, 1965?
Well, technically, it started being recorded and written. Is actually a compilation of the articles of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, writing in the Pittsburgh Courier and then later the Muhammad Speaks newspaper. So it started in the 40s and 50s.
Wow.
And then these are articles that became a book. But he was taught by Master Farad Muhammad, who came from the East, the founder of the Nation of Islam. And he's the teacher of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He taught him. And he opens up the book saying from God in person. So this is not theory and guessing. This is a divine diet. And if you study the scripture, you'll find that the great messengers and prophets that live long, when you look into their diet, they lived. Did you know Methuselah lived 969 years of age? And if you study the book of Genesis at the close of it, you will see Methuselah had a diet where he ate one day and fasted 3 days.
Right.
That was it.
Right.
Daniel, you see every year the church has
Daniel
what's called the
fast.
Daniel fast.
Yeah.
But when Daniel was in the in prison,
Right.
they locked him up. First thing they tried to give him was something
King's
called
meat.
the king's meat,
Right.
swine.
Right.
He said, I don't eat pork. You pull that Rakim out on it. No pork on my fork.
Yeah.
Right.
Strictly fish on my dish.
Right.
And the king said, "No, you gonna eat what we tell you to." He said, "Well, I tell you what, if I eat it and it has an adverse reaction, can I go back to what I want to eat?"
Right.
And he said, "That's fine." Gave it to him for 10 days. He broke out, got sick, headaches, etc.
Right.
He said, "Well, it's true. You can't take it. Now, what do you want?" He said, "All I require is post." Post is an ancient term for the small navy bean. That's the same bean we use for our bean soup and to make the bean pie.
Wow.
Now we even have bean chips out. Yeah, so
And they're really good.
so
okay.
these are righteous Doritos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bean
You
chips.
should have brought some, Ebony.
Really
Well,
good.
I
Should've
think
brought
we
some.
have.
Well, you know,
I think
you
we have.
got
I
a
think we have.
cheddar.
Yeah. I think-
I saw.
But
You got
so
the black pepper.
my point is that
Right.
that's the way we live. And you know, Scripture tells us that I've given you every herb-bearing seed for you to be as your meat.
Right.
So originally, if you study the life expectancy of people from Adam to Noah,
Right.
912.
Right. On the surface, you got to think about it. You know, African American ancestry did not eat American.
No,
You
it's,
know, there was lots
see,
of.
yeah, this is we so crazy. We slap up restaurants with cornbread and chitlins and pork chops and greens with feet $6 sitting all out of, and we call it a soul food restaurant.
Right.
High cholesterol,
How can it be?
diabetes.
I thought soul was the essence of God put in man.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
That's not a soul food restaurant. That's a slave food restaurant.
Right.
We're still eating the slave diet. We're trying to live as free people on a plantation plate. You can't eat a plantation plate and be free at the same time.
Right.
I thought you are what you eat.
Right.
Do you know it's a diet for everything?
Right.
Prize horses eat a certain way. That's the law. Even dogs that fight eat a certain way.
Right.
When you have fight dogs, they eat a certain way. In India, whenever the British came to conquer them, they set up what was called a casting system, where the top 1%, which was the ruling class, they were all vegetarians. The next group underneath them was considered to be the merchants and the farmers.
Okay.
They couldn't eat they could eat red meat and chicken, but they couldn't eat pork. The next group could only eat chicken.
Right.
And then the Aborigines that they wanted to make slaves and keep slaves, they very rarely got vegetables. They had to eat a high diet of pork.
Wow.
Because they knew inside of the pig
Right.
there is a microscopic maggot.
Right.
Millions of them. They're called trichina worms. These worms eat digestive fluids, climb up the spine, eat away at the membranes in the spine, go into the brain, and eat brain cells, which is sounding mental power. The less brain cells you have, average human being has 14 billion brain cells, thinking 60,000 thoughts a day. And these thoughts are traveling on the average of 24 billion miles per second. But depending upon how many cells you have will determine how fast your thoughts can become words.
Right.
And your words can become actions and habits and then character and then make your destiny or your future. So if I lose all my brain cells, then I'm not going to be able to talk well.
Right.
I'm not going to be able to act well.
Right.
I'm going to be slow. I'm going to make a lot of mistakes.
Right.
So they knew that if I could give a slave calories and also something that makes them dumber and dumber,
Right.
what better slave than a man with energy and a body but don't have a brain?
Right.
So the slave, the plantation plate.
Okay.
And greens, greens are weeds. Greens never were grown as a crop. They grew in between the crops. And we used to stuff our pockets with them because we didn't have no food. And we would take them back, and then they didn't give us any, only it's an oxymoron to say the best part of the pig. That's an oxymoron. It's like a healthy fat baby.
Right.
Baby healthy or fat, it's
Right.
one or the other,
Yeah.
So the house slave was considered to be living high on the hog because he might get him a slice of ham every now and then. But we in the field, ears, feet, intestines, tail, brains. So we would stick the foot inside the weeds in a pot. Thus, you have this new thing called greens right now. So we got to come off the plantation plate if we want to be free. If you want to be a ruler, you got to eat like a ruler. Do you know that there's no difference between a queen bee and the regular bee? They both start off as regular bees in the larva stage. But what they do to the queen bee, they take a regular female bee in larva stage and they begin feeding the highest grade of honey to the larva. Why it's an egg? It's called royal jelly.
Wow.
That's why it's called royal jelly.
Wow.
They feed the larva, and as that larva or that larva gets the royal jelly, the queen bee is born. And when the queen bee is born, she lives longer. She's smarter, stronger.
Wow.
So she's like
She's a regular bee just with a superior diet.
yeah, she's anointed by the other bees.
From the royal jelly.
Wow.
Right.
And all the regular bees don't get the royal jelly. Just she does.
Wow.
So they become drones.
Wow.
So I'm saying that to the queens.
Yep.
See, all you got to do is feed yourself and feed your babies. Feed them the royal jelly.
Right. Right.
Get them the right food early in life.
Yeah.
And you can make them a human being that will live longer,
Yeah.
stronger, wiser, and will be a boss and a shot caller. All that come from just diet. So
how do we
hopefully
get our
that
people to latch on to that mindset and to understand how it is warfare, because, and I, of course, being an educator, I see it in my students, and it makes me so frustrated because, they get walking around with their Takis and, junk, their Fagos, and, and I have to constantly drill it. Like, do you understand what you're doing?
Right.
And it's by design, and it's just so frustrating that we don't understand how diet plays a major part in our thinking process.
Right.
And
that's it. But that's it. You have to show we and at the end of the day, the only thing that we have to offer anyone else is our example and our explanation.
Right.
And if we're not effective at getting someone to buy into an idea before we charge them, just say, man, I got to be a better example.
Yeah.
And I got to fine tune my explanation.
Right.
So the more we can explain and be a good example of it, the easier it is for somebody to buy into
Absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Children, when you're young, there's a scripture that says like this, that I walk not by sight, but I walk by faith. Well, in the world of eating, you got to eat by faith, future focus, and not by taste.
Right.
Because if everything you eat is going to just be based on taste and convenience,
Right.
you're going to die.
Right.
So you have to, show them what the chemicals are. Show them what they do. What does a genetically modified organism do inside of you?
Right.
What does food coloring do to your body, to your brain? What does these emulsifiers, what does MSG do?
Right.
Makes you a drug addict.
Right.
See, those Takis and Flamin' Hot Cheetos, technically they're a gateway drug.
Right.
They have carcinogens.
Yep.
Yeah, what you crave.
That's true. Yeah.
They got you craving.
Yeah.
And now you get used to how do you satisfy the basic function of hunger. I satisfied by something quick and easy to taste good. Well, that's the same motto of a drug addict.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's all a scheme, but we have to just show them better, and they'll buy into it. Not all of them. Jesus said it like this. He said, "You can be all things. You have to be all things to all people, that you might get some.
Yeah.
Right.
Not even most.
Right.
That means you everything to everybody, and still gonna lose most people.
Yeah.
So you get the some that you can get. We have a saying in the nation: the best will come from the word, and the rest will come from a whooping. Because them same people, whenever they get to a certain age and they go in there and they talk about you got type 2.
Right.
Diabetes, your
That's when you
cholesterol's
start.
out of whack, your blood pressure's jacked up.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden they want to call you. You know what? I should have listened to you a long time
Right.
ago. I ain't never eaten.
Yep.
Yeah, don't wait on the doctor to tell you.
Right. Right.
Your brother and your sister been trying to tell you.
Yeah.
So
It's happening all the time. The FDA is every day approving, and this is what I don't understand, because it doesn't take much to approve food and things that are going into your body. It doesn't take much
only
at all.
in America though.
Yeah, only in America.
Because this is a profit
Right.
nation.
Right.
See, whenever they put on "In God We Trust" on the dollar bill,
Right.
they ain't talking about the God you believe in.
Right.
It ain't Jesus or the Lord of Lords or host of hosts. It's not Allah. It's an acronym. It stands for gold, oil, and drugs. That's what they worship. So they don't care nothing about the health of the people. In fact, they know sick people make profit for them. The sicker you are, the more money I can make off of you. So they love to keep us sick.
Right.
That's the way of America. It should have been a red flag, the fact that it's called the FDA. How you gonna have a Food and Drug Administration all of one same department?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all.
Wow.
Y'all both the same.
Right.
And then they tell you, look, when you get sick from the food, you got to take this medication.
Right.
But in order for you to take the medication, you got to eat some food
Right.
to
Right.
take it. So they're feeding each other, and they're pumping dope into the food. The same way that they do drugs inside of a hospital.
Right.
So we really are not even eating food. We're eating an industrialized commodity.
Right.
God's food does not have a barcode on it.
Right.
God's food, you can know what it is and what it'll do for you without reading the label.
Right.
All you got to do is look at the color. He already color-coded it.
There
Do you know
it is.
everything that's green is good for your stomach? Everything in the yellow family, that's bananas and that's squash, it's good for your brain. Everything in the orange family, those are the peppers, the carrots, oranges, tangerines, peaches. All of those things are good for your immune system. Everything in the blue and purple family, which is blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, eggplant, all of those are good to relieve stress and calm the body. And everything that's in the red family it gives you energy, it boosts your energy. So you don't even need a barcode if you go to the produce section. You just need to feel a little tired. How tired? I'm about 2 peppers and 1 apple tired. Feeling a little sad right now. Well, I'm a little down. What do I need? Oh man, I think I need me some squash and zucchini. I'm gonna make me a mix. Make me a banana. And then you can treat yourself.
Right.
Because the food is already color coded that God made.
Right.
It's these
And alkaline
barcodes
based,
food.
yeah.
Yes, you can't. This stuff is this is poison and fast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, fast. You know, you gotta go. We the only species on Earth that whenever we get sick, we go get some drugs.
Right. Right.
There's no other creatures that do that. When your dog gets sick, what does he do? He fast. You can put the plate.
Stop eating.
He like, I'm not eating nothing.
Right.
Why? I ain't eating until I get well.
Right.
I don't want nothing.
Yep.
He might drink a little water, but he ain't eating no food.
Right.
Till he gets back right.
That's true.
We the only people that want to go, you know, chicken noodle soup. Get some chicken noodle soup, you know. Well, how you feeling? Here you go. Here's some Sudafed and some.
Right.
No, we can treat ourselves. Food. Food is medicine.
Right.
If we treat it right, but it's more of a preventive medicine than it is a treatment. And there's a saying that an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. So let's go at it now.
Absolutely.
Trying to eat as healthy as we can, and then as you get used to eating healthy on one level, upgrade.
Right.
Graduate.
Yeah.
When I joined the nation, I heard that they had 21 different drugs in beef, and that they were putting estrogen in the chicken, a female hormone.
Wow.
And it's a fact.
Right.
So I said, they told me you were addicted to it. I was like, no, I'm not. I don't have to ever eat it. I stopped eating it when I was 16 years old. And I'm saying for 2 years I was craving chicken, and probably for 1 year I was craving beef, literally almost every day.
Right.
Wow.
I was like, I really am an addict.
Right.
I'm addicted.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't eaten any meat. I haven't eaten any meat in 26 years.
Wow.
Wow.
I've eaten fish. I eat fish, but I did 4 years without fish, but I eat fish now. But
what liquids do you drink? I mean, obviously we got water, but
that's all I drink is water.
Just water.
Okay.
That's it. I don't drink anything else. I make my own smoothies.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I take organic frozen berries. I put water and a little stevia, natural sweetener, and I make those. And I have been drinking these. Every now and then I'll get these. I think it's a Kavita. It's like an apple cider vinegar little drink.
Oh yeah, they're so good.
I drink the ginger those.
Okay.
Lemon ginger.
But for the most part, I'm 99% just water.
Wow.
Just spring water.
That's awesome.
And I did want to add that it is the holy month of Ramadan, and
Yes.
Brother Nuri's just talking so
I ain't
eloquently
got my
about
water
food
yet.
and water. And I felt so bad. I put my water down here. I said, "Oh, I forgot."
So all of the Muslims in the audience, I'm about, what is this, 10, 15 minutes past my drinking time? Can I get some rollover minutes?
Do we have any water?
I got something to be. I got some. I'll be okay.
Okay.
But
Okay, so I
that
can
should
put
be
my
to get some
water back
rollover
up
minutes,
there.
huh? What do you think, Ray? Get some rollover minutes?
Yeah, you got some rollover, man.
It ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna. They ain't going for it. I don't get no rollover minutes.
Oh man.
This is
But
awesome,
I'm
man.
gonna be honest. I feel so
Yeah.
good being around you all that I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I don't even
Too
feel
alive.
it.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was really tired before I came,
Yeah.
but because I'm in the good company of good sisters and brothers,
Absolutely.
Wow.
I feel energized.
Absolutely.
that.
Me as
Thank
well,
y'all.
man.
Thank
I mean,
y'all.
it just
Likewise.
shows you that a lot of things are mental.
That's right.
You know, mental
Mind controls the body.
mental strength is phenomenal because I learned this at about 22 years old when I used to get toothaches, and I used to be like, it only hurt when I think about it.
Yeah.
Look at that. You know, this Sunday at the mosque, I'm gonna be doing a lecture at 11 o'clock. It's called "How to Think to Live."
Wow.
But we're gonna deal with the power of the mind and how it works in concert with eating to live.
Right.
How thinking to live and eating to live mixed together is the optimal formula for living.
Nice.
See, at the end of the day, man is what he puts in his mind and his mouth.
Right.
Wow.
Her mind and her mouth. What you put in your mind and your mouth is gonna make you who you are.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what, brother Nuri? I want to ask you when did you join the nation? Like, what made you join?
Yeah. Please tell your
Oh
story.
man, I was 16 years old, and
Okay.
at the time, my girlfriend father was was not in the nation, but he always read the books and listened to lectures.
Yeah.
Went to Savior's Days events, loved the nation, loved the minister, and financially supported it.
Yeah.
So he had all the books and stuff, and she used to go when she was a child. So she got back interested when she was maybe 16, 15, 16. Start reading the books, listening to the tapes.
Yeah.
So every time we would be on the phone at nighttime, this is way back in the day. Y'all don't know nothing about the phone with the wires on it. You got to touch it. With no cell phones out back then.
Mm-hmm.
And we would be talking. That's all she wanted to talk about. Something from the Bible. Something from Black history. I'm like, oh, God. Have you read the book yet? No. Have you listened to the? No, I have not. Then she kept asking so much. And she made this statement, Brother Pat. And this, you know, the Elijah Mama said like this. He said there's 17 million keys and there's 17 million locks. At that time, that was a population of black people. It's something that you can hear that'll turn your brain. And she said to me, she said, have you ever wondered why they call it the projects? I said, no. She said, because that's project is another word for experiment. They're experimenting on us. I was so hurt.
Wow.
Yeah.
That I picked up the Message of the Black Man, started listening to the tapes. And I went to a Savior's Day, heard the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in person. And I said, man, this man is God. There's no way in the world nobody can know like this much. And I got back in the car. I hadn't cried. I couldn't remember the last time I cried. I was crying. And my girlfriend's father said, I said, that man is more than who y'all think he is.
Wow.
He said, y'all might, he's not, that man is God. It's like, well, you do know he had a teacher. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. And he had a teacher. I was like, oh, I was mind blown.
Right.
So I started studying. And at 17, I joined the nation. And 1 month after I joined, maybe 2, the sister that introduced me, that was my girlfriend at the time, she joined the nation. 2 years later, we got married, and we are celebrating in July. It'll be 23 years of marriage.
Wow.
Married for 23 years
Congratulations.
now. So she introduced me
Wow.
to the teachers as teenagers.
Wow. That's incredible.
And I would say to all the young soldiers that, you know, the earlier that you can try to get serious and focused, the faster you're going to be able to reach your objective. Because the more you live outside of your purpose and outside of what's right, you're going to do more wrong, and you're going to start carrying unnecessary baggage.
Right.
So when you make your mind up, if you wait till you're 40 to make your mind up that you're going to get it right and start doing what you're born to do, think about all the skeletons in your closet, monsters and stuff you got you carrying, how much excess weight you have on you. And then if it takes, they've studied it. They found that there's a 10,000 hour rule.
Right.
That it takes approximately 10,000 hours for a Bill Gates to become a Bill Gates, a Warren Buffett to become a Warren Buffett, a great athlete to become a great athlete. They've interviewed hundreds of great people in all professions, including violinists, saxophonists, basketball. It's a 10,000 hour rule, which means 2 hours a day for about 7 years of committed to study of a craft can make you a master of that craft.
Wow. Wow.
So if it's 10,000 hours and you're 17, and you say, you know what, I ain't playing. I'm gonna make my mind up. I'm getting serious now.
Right.
How do I know what I'm born? How do I know what my purpose is for living? The Honorable Elijah Mama said like this: whatever you love to do and what you do best is more than likely what you're born to do. Your purpose in life is that single activity that you do well with the least amount of effort.
Right.
Wow.
That purpose in life is the thing that you can wake up for without an alarm clock.
Right.
It's not a job. It's passion. It's not labor. It's a labor of love.
Right.
You get so much joy from it that you don't even care how much money you make doing it.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna tell you, if you start doing what you're born to do, one day you're gonna do it so well because you love it that people will pay you for doing it.
Sky opens.
So when you're young, if you make your mind up at 17, and to become a master at it might have taken you 7 years, you become that at 24.
Wow.
Right.
But if you wait till you're 40 to get cracking,
Right. Yeah.
it would probably take you longer because you got all the baggage,
Right.
all the distractions, these responsibilities, these burdens. You know, now you got a family that you got to deal with. Now you got children that you got to take care of. But if you can get focused while you're young,
Right.
and understand that greatness is not locked in a time capsule, waiting on gray or bald hair to show up for you to be able to activate it.
Right.
You can activate it right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Abraham was a teenager whenever he destroyed those idols.
Mm.
David was a teenager. It says a youth named Abraham, a youth named Goliath, a David. A youth in the scriptures, 12 to 16 years of age. Jesus was 12 years old whenever he was confounding the scholars in the temples. Remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how young he was. Whenever he was that wise that they was even impressed by what he was saying.
Right.
So the earlier that you make your mind up to get serious about what you're supposed to be serious about, the faster you can get to your objective. So I joined the nation, 17, Brother Pat, and before I came in the ranks, I was in the streets hustling. And I liked money. I still do like money. And anybody tell you that they don't like money, they'll lie about some. Like money helps you say be and it is. Money helps you see what you like and be able to say I want it and you can have it.
Right.
But it's a medium of exchange.
Right.
But when I came in the nation and I had my mindset that I'm going after knowledge like I used to go after money. So I used to study 8 to 10 hours a day. I'm talking about in high school. And while I was in school, all day, all night, constantly reading and studying, constantly trying to tell somebody something. And they end up putting me on the rostrum. And I didn't want to go on the rostrum. They asked me to speak. It was a Wednesday night. And I said, I'm not feeling good. I was feeling just fine until they asked me to go say something. Then the Sunday came, and then the minister at the time told me, he said, rumor has it you were scared to speak. And you can't tell no black man he's scared. I was like, no, sir, I wasn't scared. I wasn't feeling good.
Right.
How you feeling now? I'm fine, sir. Well, good. You on in 5 minutes. I whoa, wait a minute. It wasn't out yet, but I wanted to say it.
Right.
You know, the way my faith is set up. I've only been here for 3 months. I don't know what to do.
Right.
They put me up there, and people were standing and clapping. I was like, man, what is wrong with these people? And I got off of there. I was like, oh, man, thank you. I never have to do that again. Lo and behold, next Wednesday, I did a whole lecture. 17.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I became an assistant minister at 17 years of age.
Yeah.
Accidentally on purpose.
Wow.
And while I was up there speaking, I heard a voice in my mind that said, this is what you're born to do. I had all intentions on ignoring that voice. But circumstance didn't let it be.
Right.
You know, so that's, you know, what I do is what I love to do.
Right.
This is my purpose for living.
Right.
You know, I believe that. And I don't get no joy out of nothing like I get out of helping the transformation process of human beings.
Absolutely.
This is what I love to do. So
Absolutely.
that's what happened to me, Brother Pat. That's how they got. That's how I came
Incredible.
in.
Wow.
Incredible. I mean, and what you speak on is rich, man. You know, every day, you know, you see people find their destiny. What they do with it is between them and God, you know, but you see people at a young age, you know, like young athletes, you know, I can use LeBron as an example, but, you know, young, you know, come out of school. I mean, he found his purpose, something that he's great at, you know, and, you know, a lot of people will speculate on his game and, you know, how he does that deal. But I like what he does off the court.
Man, LeBron is God in a basketball uniform. Yeah, you can say take whatever you want to take from him. He is what he is.
Right.
Now what's so crazy though is this. God never creates a person to be a basketball player or a football player. What you're looking at is a manifestation of black excellence in the world of sport and play. There's something else LeBron James is born to do that he's going to even be greater at if he's willing to use the law of transmutation and take the same grind that he put into the same discipline and work ethic and sacrifice he put into becoming the athlete he is. If he finds that real purpose and puts that same work ethic in it,
Right. Unstoppable.
I don't know. Hopefully it's an engineer.
Right.
Hopefully it's an architect.
Right.
It might be a businessman because he's definitely good at that.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the way that LeBron James operates in the world.
Yeah.
He operates with a degree of honor, integrity. All his people that he grew up with, he has them working for him.
Yeah.
I met his manager. Was hired as his manager, I think, at 22.
Wow.
And he's the brother that negotiated the deal with Sprite and Nike.
Wow.
And he gets 10% of a 90 million.
Yeah.
And another something 50 million.
Right.
All his whole team. Do you know LeBron James has put several hundred students through college?
Yep.
I think it's like around 400 full ride scholarships out of his pocket.
Wow.
Yep.
Even whenever he went and he was making the announcement, I'm taking my talent to South Beach.
Yeah.
He went on television. They gave him, I think, $3 million. He donated all of it to the Boys and Girls Club that was struggling in the city that he was coming up from in Akron.
Amazing.
So he's just a different kind of athlete.
Right.
Yeah, he is.
He's a different kind of athlete, and I love the spirit that he has, and I hope that his spirit becomes contagious.
Right.
Because he has the potential to be like Muhammad Ali was for the latter generation, and he has the potential to become contagious and make a whole lot of Muhammad Alis.
Right.
And when that happens, I'm talking about our changing will change overnight.
Right.
When those that have go to his Instagram page, go to his Twitter, let's see how many followers he has.
Right.
Compare him to another leader.
Right.
So
And
who's a leader?
Exactly. Right. That brings me to this question about the world of sports in America. And, you know, black folks in the sports that we dominate, you know, in those sports. And collectively, if you look at all the money that's invested and given to the athletes, they could, and Pat spoke on this in one segment we had a while ago.
And I got crucified.
He got ridiculed for it.
Oh, my goodness. I got crucified.
But he was saying that they could put that money together and build their own, you know, basketball team or league,
have their
or
own.
you know, what do you think it is about this system where, you know, where young men are being nurtured into becoming athletes, and they get there and not many of them, you know, look back? What do you think that is?
We unfortunately we have fallen into the sin of selfishness, and we are participating in rugged individualism. It's I got to get mine and you got to get yours.
Right.
And because we don't think like a community, and we don't think for the good of the whole, you know, there was a part of the rites of passage in almost every tribe in Africa before we came to America. They used to take the whole class, if it was all sisters, let's say it was 30 young girls that were going into womanhood, or 30 young brothers going into manhood, they would give each one of them a twig that represented themselves.
Okay.
They were carried around for the day. At the end of the day, they would come together and say, now I want you to all to see if you can break your twig. Everybody broke it real easy.
Okay.
And then they would give each one of them the amount of twigs that made up the group.
Yep.
Here's 30. See if you can break it. They pass it all the way through the sisters, all the way through the brothers. Nobody could break it.
Right.
The elders were teaching us the principle that when you're alone, you're easily broken by an outside force.
Wow.
But when you come together in unity, nothing can break you.
Wow.
See, we
Absolutely.
have not bought into. That's the only thing we haven't tried yet.
Right.
We have not tried unity.
Right.
So what my brother was saying, and to modify it, let's suppose you just put up 10%.
Right.
Into a cooperative economic plan. You don't have to. We ain't asking you for all of your money. God didn't even ask you for all of it.
Right.
Right.
Tithe to your community
Right.
in a cooperative economic fund,
Right.
and start a summer league.
Right.
See? And then see, you would be surprised. Do you know that the #1 sport in the world is soccer?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think
They
of
call
the
it
man's
football.
name.
Right.
Football. The brother's name right now. But he's really good. But he's a billionaire.
Oh,
He's
wow.
getting $290 million a year just from the sport, not endorsements.
Wow.
He plays for 2 different leagues. One league is done, he goes to another country and plays for another league. What if we decided that we're going to play for their league get all the money we can, and then we're gonna use this as an investment. We're gonna build our own league,
right?
And we're gonna have 2 leagues,
right?
Wow.
Right. Double the money.
Yeah, we can put a different logo.
Yeah.
On there, he keep the same with afro. I don't know. It doesn't matter. The point is that when the black Yankees and we had the Negro League, they were doing good,
Right.
and they were whooping the white teams.
Sure were.
Soon as integration hit, soon
you
as
go.
Jackie Robinson went over to the Dodgers,
Yeah, Brooklyn Dodgers. Yeah.
soon as that happened, all of a sudden the Negro League existed no more.
Right.
So integration meant disintegration.
Right.
So independence means that we got to go for self again.
Mm-hmm.
It was getting rough when they didn't want to. They was trying to put that salary cap on them.
Right.
And Kobe told everybody, hold your money.
Mm.
Don't sign no contract. He said, if any of you all start running into trouble,
Mm-hmm.
I'll loan you the money till we get this thing right.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
I didn't know that.
But Magic Johnson came out
Mm-hmm.
and said, I think that it's getting real close to time for us to start our own league.
Right.
They hurry up and start kicking out that money.
Mm-hmm.
See, paper ain't nothing to them.
Right.
They want control.
Right.
We can sell out
and that's
arenas.
what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
We could build arenas and sell them out.
Right.
Do you know Jordan right now? They give Jordan $190 million to $200 million a year. Nike does.
Wow.
But guess how much Nike makes off of it? 1.2 billion
Right.
a year.
Right.
What if Jordan would have done what Ball and them are doing right now?
Exactly.
Man.
Exactly. And that's what, man, I like.
So
I like
what
it's
if
doing.
the NBA became the National Black Association with basketball players in it?
Mm-hmm.
We could do the same thing, but do it even bigger and better. So that's the
Right.
that's the problem. We got to get out of this rugged individualism.
Mm-hmm.
We got to get out of this selfishness. We have to begin thinking about what's good for the whole and what's going to leave a legacy
Mm-hmm.
for our people and for our children. And if we did that, brother, it could be done, and it could be done quickly.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, I think our mindset is just so based on being inferior.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
To the point where we aspire. Even myself. Growing up, I aspired to be in the NBA. I worked hard at it all the time. It didn't pan out, but I never thought about ownership.
Yeah, and you know what, Pat? That's think about this. Right now, there's 10 million. Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu estimated there was 10 million black boys that want to be in the
Okay.
NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Out of those 10 million black boys, only 35,000 of them will go to college to play.
Right.
Out of 3,500, only 3,500 will get a scholarship.
Right.
Out of the 3,500 that get a scholarship, they'll go to college to play basketball. Only 35 of them are going to the
Yep.
NBA.
Yep.
Out of the 35 that go to the NBA, only 7 of them will have a starting job. So you telling me right now you got 10 million black boys competing for 7 full-time jobs.
Right.
8
Yep.
years down the road, 10 years down the road. Think about the math.
Right.
So what happens to us, Brother Pat, because black and white parents put their children in sports for 2 different reasons.
Yes.
Black children put their children in sports to become a professional at it. White parents put their children in sports to get principles from it. So we go in, and if we don't make it to the league, we drug addicts, we
Right.
broke, we messed up, we depressed, we
Right.
ain't nothing. That's what I was supposed
Sucked
to
in
be.
the vacuum.
I'm through.
Yeah.
And life is meaningless.
Right.
They went to school. They don't go to the NBA either.
Right.
But they take the teamwork,
Discipline.
sacrifice,
Yeah.
discipline, working
Right.
through pain, working through fatigue.
Right.
They take those principles and use that for their insurance company, their law firms, their stores,
Right.
their businesses. They transmute them to another field.
Right.
We, on the other hand, we go in there for profession instead of principle. Let's just go for principles.
Right.
Right.
And if you can get a full ride, get it.
Right.
If you can get in the league, get in the league.
Right.
But I watched on ESPN the other night. They had a list they showed all the athletes that went broke,
Right.
bankrupt.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say they showed the names of them at the end, it was moving fast with 2 lines.
Wow.
It was athletes on both sides of the page moving
Right.
faster than credits for a movie.
Right.
Wow.
It was that many
Right.
of them.
Yeah.
that are bankrupt.
Then
right now.
they get this money at a young age, and they're not even financially aware.
Right.
You know, some of them have good groups of people around them, like LeBron and several others who Magic Johnson, who end up growing and becoming CEOs of their businesses and franchises or whatnot. You have people like, and I'm switching into a different topic with in NFL. Colin Kaepernick
Right.
decided to use his way of protesting, and that became a problem.
Guess what they're doing?
Right.
White people that are in power, from the president down to the owners of the NFL, they are protesting black consciousness.
Absolutely.
Right.
They're
Absolutely.
protesting you standing up for your people. So y'all made him a representative
Right.
of resistance. We're going to make him an example to show you what we're going to do to you when you do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So they won't. But guess what? What if they had done what Brother Pat suggested the last
Right.
show?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
what if he had a
absolutely.
black NFL?
Yeah.
He'd be like, all right, cool. I may not get the money I was getting. I'm going over here to the black league.
Right. Right. That's a sacrifice.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to play with them. So, at the end of the day, Kaepernick's name will be remembered in history.
Right. Absolutely.
99.9% of all them athletes that was too cowardly to stand up,
Right.
they will never be remembered for
Right.
nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
There's nothing about running a ball, catching a ball, or throwing a ball that impacts the world in a positive way.
Right.
It does not change the condition, not one atom's weight.
Right.
But what he did showed, something that we'll never forget him.
Right.
He's going down in history.
Absolutely.
He's this generation's Olympic black fist. What he
Right.
did was strong. He didn't say a word. Just did an action. So, he's going to be all right.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
The Lord of the
Absolutely.
Worlds is going to make sure he's all right.
Absolutely.
He just got to stay focused. And if they don't hire him, then, keep it moving and do something else.
Right.
He still has some millions.
Right. Yeah.
He ain't got as
Tucked
many
away.
as he had.
Yeah.
He got some millions
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
I mean-
He.
Yeah.
I think he just got signed to the Seahawks.
He did?
Yeah. It was like. I
Well, if
think
he
it was
did,
like
I mean,
like
that's
a
great.
3-year,
Yeah.
a 3-year deal.
Well,
Yeah, that's great.
that'd be. I mean, he's good.
Yeah. Yeah. He's
good.
absolutely good.
Yeah. So, but we support our brother, and he was willing to die. He had death threats, probably
yeah.
still getting them, and we were getting ready to come to make sure our brother was all right. But he said it's not necessary. I'm all right.
Yeah. He put it on the line.
I'm good. I'm
Wow.
good. He said this, and this is the kind of soldier that you have to be. He said, if they kill me, that'll make the point even more.
Right. Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
mean, athletes will say
mindset that we
that.
have to have.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You have to be serious enough to die for what's right and what's right for your people. And of course, if you have to be willing to kill for what you die for too.
Right.
I ain't just gonna stand there and die.
Right. There's
Right.
a
If
huge
you coming
tone.
to kill me, I'm trying to get you too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, and I've watched several activists, so I'm pulling, this directly from, because I've heard it many and many a times. If you look at our communities, Caucasian, all different genres and races of people, one specific group of people are always hunting, always guns and ready, and some of the activists that I was listening to spoke on and said, we're not even ready for that. If there was a war to go down, a lot of people are, we're out here attacking and killing each other. So we're ready for that hunt, ready to go out and get the neighbor. But, if a revolution went down, we would be behind. Can you speak on that?
The sad reality is that white people are lined up outside the fairgrounds to buy guns, and black people are lined up out of Lafayette Square to buy Jordans.
Right.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
And what I would say is this, in the nation we don't carry any guns.
Right.
Not even as small as a penknife.
Right.
And we believe, and this is a sheriff, a pastor sheriff, he made a statement. He said this. He said, I was a police officer for many years. He said, I'm here to tell you that guns have spirits. I said, huh? Now, I don't believe that, but I understood what he was saying.
Right.
And he gave a story about how he was in a bar, off duty, but he had his service weapon with him. Somebody stepped on his shoe and then looked at him like he was at fault. The first thing he did as a response was start reaching for his gun. He said it happened to fall down his leg. By the time he went down there and got it, he started coming to his senses. But he realized he was going to kill somebody overstepping on his shoe.
Wow.
And I guarantee you it was a brother that looked just like him.
Right.
Because the mind, the self-hatred is the only thing that'll let you kill your brother. We have so much of the massa we sick mentality.
Right.
And so much what you would call the Stockholm syndrome kind of love. The battered wife syndrome when it comes to white people, that we can't offend them.
Right.
We can only kill one another.
Right.
So we believe that we can hold our peace and that we don't have to war with flesh and blood.
Right.
But we can war with principalities, the rulers of the darkness of this world, and principalities that exist in high places, the rulers of the darkness. We can do that.
Right.
And if we do that, we believe that the Lord of Lords will protect us and fight that battle for us.
Right.
The Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the minister said this. He said, every creature is a weapon. You seen what happened with Egypt and Moses. He turned gnats on their behind, crickets.
Right.
Grasshoppers start coming and shutting the whole cities down.
Right.
So it don't take nothing but a little wind.
Right.
You know, so we don't really need them. Right now, 95% of all deaths by handgun are killed by somebody that they knew or that loved them.
Right.
And when I go into the prisons, 99% of them brothers is in there with regret.
Right.
They made a split-second emotional decision that they wish they wouldn't have made, that was taking the rest of their life away.
Right.
So one day, when we become spiritually and mentally developed as we should, then we have a nation that we have to protect. We have to protect it with arms, with people that's coming with arms.
Right.
But right now, we're too sick and too full of self-hatred. We're going to use them on one another.
Right.
Brother Nuri, why is it taboo to even talk about the fact that we kill each other? You know, when we have those conversations of white supremacy and what, you know, white folks are doing to us, what the police are doing to us, and someone says, well, what we do to each other is taboo.
Right.
To say that. But it's the fact, you know.
Well, but it's because it's happened so often for so long that we've become what they call in sociology desensitized.
Yes.
Right.
We're like the proverbial bullfrog in the bucket. They say if you take a bullfrog and drop him in a bucket of boiling water, as soon as he touches it, because it's a contrast from cool to hot, it'll jump out immediately.
Right.
But if you put the same bullfrog in a bucket of lukewarm water and gradually increase it to a boil, the adaptability mechanism in the brain of the bullfrog will cause it to get used to heat as it goes up, and it will die and become its own soup. What's happened to us as a people, we've been seeing so much black on black crime, black on black death, that we're like it's just gradually getting hotter and hotter, where we don't even feel the heat no more.
Right.
And we are literally becoming our own soup.
Right.
So it's a normal thing
Right.
to see us kill one another. And we've become desensitized to it. I'm saying that we have to become sensitive to it.
Right. How do we do that?
Well, there's a verse that I wanted to put out on the air. There's a verse in the Quran that says this, that he who saves a life, it is as though he has saved the lives of all men. But whoever takes a life, it is as though you've taken the lives of all men. So when you have, all our bookstores, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan named all of our bookstores around the nation. He calls them Respect for Life Bookstore. Do you know why? Because most of the people are not going to drive up and park and come in. But even if you don't come in, you're going to see that.
Right.
Respect for life. Oh, I got to think. Respect for life.
Right.
See, our problem is this. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said you can stop all black on black crime and violence with a simple formula. He said knowledge of self produces love for self. And love for self causes you to do right by yourself or do for yourself.
Okay.
And since you are my brother Ray, my brother Pat, base word of brother is other. You're my other self.
Right. There it is.
So if you're my other self, what I do to you is going to hurt me.
Exactly.
Right.
Because you're my other me.
Right.
So I can't smoke my other me. I can't shoot my other me. I can't sell dope to my other me. I can't rob my other me because I'm killing myself.
Right.
So
Right.
when we have that concept that we are really blood of each other's blood, flesh of each other's flesh, bone of each other's bone, that we are literally, we are all direct descendants of the originator of the heavens and the earth,
Right.
in possession of God's genetic makeup, with divine DNA and holy heredity, then whenever I see you, I'm looking at me.
Right.
You're my other self. So the love I have for me, from the knowledge I have of me and my people,
Right.
makes me treat you right.
Absolutely.
That's not going to take place at the school.
Right.
It
Right.
should,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Right.
But it absolutely has to become the homework assignment.
Right.
Not, I'm not saying homework meaning that you regurgitate what some teacher gave you back. I'm talking about homework meaning you give your children
Right.
books and facts about people that look like them that accomplished great things in the past.
Right.
That's real homework. And
Absolutely.
let's start rewarding our children for academics the same way we do for athletics.
Yep.
No, let's start rewarding them more for academics than we do for athletics.
Right.
Shoot, let them win a little game. You taking them to pizza every week. Let them go to the championship. They get to do this, to do that, and to do that. No, let's be like that about not just grades in school, but let's be like that when it comes to the homework assignments we give.
Right.
I tell you what, this summer, for every book you read, and you give them the books,
Right.
for every book you read, and it should be Black history,
Yeah.
it should be scripture, and it should be character building and leadership books.
Right.
Lay that on them, and then you have to read them too, because you're going to have to quiz them.
Right.
Otherwise, they can fake like they read it.
Right.
But now
Right.
you're quizzing them.
Right.
For every book you read, and every time, if you can successfully quiz and come out good and show me you know it,
Yep.
for every book you read this summer, I'll give you $35. I'll give you
Absolutely.
$50. I'll give you $20. Watch how many they start reading. And then you don't even have to worry about it. See, if man is made up of what you put in your mind and your mouth, look at what's been going in.
Right. Right.
So that's kind of, I think,
Right.
what we need. We have to get that curriculum at the house.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's beautiful, man.
I hate to
Yeah.
switch gears, but I want
No, you good.
to talk about your books.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. Let's hear about it.
Brother Nuri's written 2 books. Can you give us the title and
The
the
first one was
inspirations?
titled, both of these books are the result of positive peer pressure.
Okay.
Okay.
People are always saying, you're going to write a book. When you going to write a book?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in almost every city that we visit, we come there for different reasons, but there's always a request for sidebar meeting, counseling, sidebar session. It's always male and female relationships.
Yeah.
So if an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure, I wrote a book called Before You Say I Do. So it's a book is good for you whether you're trying to find out where to plant your love,
Right.
or whether you've already planted your love and some weeds have grown,
Right.
Okay.
and you want to get rid of them weeds and sprinkle some fertilizer on it. Before You Say I Do is right for you.
Right.
You can go to my website. It's NuriMuhammad.com.
Yeah.
And my latest book is called Let This Mind Be in You, the Master, the Messenger, the Minister.
Right.
These are 3. That's Master Farad Muhammad, Messenger, Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Minister Louis Farrakhan. They're 3 men with the same mind. And it's the same mind of God, the same mind Jesus had, same mind the messengers had.
Right.
But the
Make
question
sure
is,
put
how
that
do we
in there
get
for
that
you.
mind in us?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is a book that kind of shows what their mind looks like in principle form.
Can you put that in
Use of
the feed?
scripture, science, nature, mathematics, history, some different experiments that have been done with animals, insects, and that's relating to human beings.
Yeah.
And I think you'll like it. It's a lot of people have considered it to be like an encyclopedia of the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Kind of goes in a concentrate form on the primary subjects of our belief system.
Right. The book titled Before You Say I Do.
Yes.
Speak on that just a little bit. It's amazing that it's easier to get married and it's harder to get a divorce.
Yeah.
And
Well,
so it should be harder to get married because you should have to go through some kind of premature education or course or something to just understand the purpose.
You in chapter 1, by the way. No, guess what we found though?
Yeah.
That not only is it easier to get married than divorce, but it's easier to get to get a marriage license than a driver's license.
Wow.
Wow.
Think about that.
Right. Right.
All you gotta do is go downtown with your $42 and prove you are above 18,
Right.
and they'll give you the marriage license. In fact, they'll
Wow.
get you married right there on the spot.
You can get married almost anywhere.
Look at what you gotta do to drive,
Right. Mm-hmm. Got to show 3 pieces of ID.
and you gotta get a permit,
Yeah.
and you gotta keep
All
a
right.
permit for 6 months,
Right.
and you gotta log 40 hours of supervised driving,
Right.
and you gotta take a test
Right.
to show you know the street signs and that you can drive.
Right. Right.
But to get married, all you gotta do is go give them $42 and walk
Yep.
out of there with a piece of paper.
Yep.
That's it.
Something wrong with that math. What they're saying is that they care more about your car than they do about your family.
Right.
Mm.
Absolutely.
So what we are trying to do in the book is we're trying to look at what would be a spiritual equivalent to a learner's permit,
Mm-hmm.
a chaperone.
Mm-hmm.
What would be a spiritual equivalent to a test you should have to take,
Right.
to a driving test that you would have to prove
Yeah.
before you can say I do.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of
Yeah. That's
preview
that's great.
of the book. And
We
on the
need
back
that.
of the book is the quote that I accidentally came up with because they was trying to get me to come up with a quote.
Mm-hmm.
And it says on the back, it says that the mate you choose
Mm-hmm.
will either inspire you to grow into your greatness or
Yeah.
they will confine you to complacency.
Yeah.
They will either be your other half
Mm-hmm.
or they will make you half of yourself.
Absolutely.
So choose
Yeah.
wisely.
Wow.
Right.
So that book is designed to help choose wisely.
Do you and there's people go through counseling and stuff all the time. You know, we haven't had a deep relationship segment yet, but it's coming. Because I want to touch on you know, people get with whomever, you know, a lot of times when we're young-minded and not mentally in tune with ourselves, we often miss the mark on who we're supposed to be with and who we think we are supposed to be with. So we end up forcing ourselves with someone, and that fails. And now there's kids and single parents and things out there. What must we do to understand that I mean, those things are going to happen, but I don't think it's the action of that happening. I think it's what happens after is where people get lost.
Well, everything is school. Everything is school.
Right.
Yeah, it's learning.
Yeah, everything is school.
Right.
But what we don't need, see, everybody gets marriage counseling.
Right.
But what we really need is husband counseling and wife counseling
Right.
before you become a husband and a wife.
Absolutely.
So a man needs husband counseling.
Yeah.
A woman needs wife counseling.
Right.
That was another thing in the rites of passage.
Mm-hmm.
See, before a girl could be called a woman, she had to show she knew some of the fundamentals of motherhood
Right.
and the role of a wife.
Mm-hmm.
Before a
Wow.
boy could be called a man,
Mm-hmm.
he had to show he knew what it meant to be a husband and a father.
Right.
He had to at least be able to answer the questions of the elders.
Right.
And be able, they would put him through scenarios. All right, if this happened, well, if your husband did this to you, how would you respond?
Right.
And they would be logging you. They would be logging it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you couldn't perform well, in theory, they knew you wasn't going to perform well in practice.
Right.
So you got withheld back
Mm-hmm.
from being married. There's a saying among the Contangas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not the Contangas, but among the Contangas, the trainer. But it was a group. I think I can't remember what tribe it was, but there's a saying that they gave the men. They told them that basically that children you left the village, but men you are to return.
Mm.
And if you cannot prove
Mm-hmm.
that you can go through what it takes to become a man
Right.
this day,
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
then you will forever be a child in the village.
Mm.
You will not be allowed to marry,
Wow.
for the children of such offspring would be too weak
Right.
for our community or our village.
Mm.
And you will be forever treated as a child.
Wow.
So these were things that was a law. You had
Right.
to know what it meant to be
Right.
a mother
Right.
and a wife.
Mm-hmm.
You had to know what it meant to be a husband and a father.
Right.
And the one thing that kind of messes up everything is we get too feely, touchy too early,
Too early.
and then emotions began to cloud our
Right.
judgment.
So I was going to ask you to
Absolutely.
explain the courtship process.
So you know, in the nation we have a courtship,
Okay.
which is basically keeping the emotions down. It's the learning permit.
Okay. Okay.
And you got the 40 hours. You got somebody chaperoning you,
Okay.
riding with you. No, they not meddling, but they,
Right.
you know, kind of making sure you all right.
Right.
So you don't go to dinner all by yourself.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's in there and on the other side of the restaurant.
Okay.
But kind of watching you. And, you know, I'll tell you this story. I was talking to a couple once that had 3 children. They were having really serious problems. And I just wanted to just throw it out there. I said, did you all, you know, were you all physically together before you got married? Yes. And then I asked this question. This was the oh man, this was rough.
Okay.
I said, can I ask you this? I said, do you think that you all would have gotten married had you not already been physically involved with each other? One said yes, the other said no. Did you hear that?
Wow.
It's like it had
So
to
now
happen.
the one is looking like,
Right.
so you mean tell me that 3 children later,
Right.
Wow.
you married
Right.
me out of guilt?
Right.
That's why you with me?
Right. Wow.
And they've been having problems,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and they're going to have problems because the, you know, the law under which you bring a thing into existence gives it its nature.
Right.
You can start it off good and pure the best you can.
Right.
It'll go a lot better. So that's kind of the courtship process that we do. It is just like going to court. Got you on the witness stand.
Right.
Cross examination.
Right.
And I'm
Right.
going to go interview some witnesses.
Right.
Okay, who was you with before I came along? Don't they? You got to get the Carfax.
Right. Right.
I need the Carfax on this car, man.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Find out how many collisions. Oh, you was in this car was totaled.
Right.
This is a
Right.
rebuilt title here. What caused the accident? How did this damage get done?
Right.
And so we advised the
Yeah.
sisters to go interview
Yeah.
the last wife.
Okay.
Go interview her.
Mm-hmm.
Then you interview the other one, and you ask what was it about,
Mm-hmm.
and then you take notes, and then you come back.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say, "Hey, I was told that you a liar." No, you
Right.
just kind of
Right.
ask questions.
Right.
You know, how do you feel about, you know, whatever the weaknesses were?
Right.
You feel about so forth. Well, you know, I'm gonna be honest. Back then, I was immature, so forth,
Right.
so forth. But
Right.
you watching still.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Cross examination,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow.
and you kind of weigh it, and then
Yeah.
we have a compatibility rule. Really, you should be looking. You know, whoever you marry, you're never gonna marry somebody that's perfect.
Right.
You
Right.
know, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said this. He said, "You did not marry the man of your dreams, sisters."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "The man of your dreams is inside the man that you married.
Mm.
Get to mining him out."
There you go.
Brothers, you did not marry the woman of your
Wow.
dreams. The woman of your dreams is inside the woman that you married. Mine her out.
Right.
So everybody marries somebody, and what you marry is one part present person,
Mm-hmm.
and another part is potential person.
Right.
Problem with us is once you start getting into the feely, touchy, you cloud your judgment,
Right.
and now you don't even see the present person no more. You only see potential.
Wow.
But if the person you're marrying is not already what you want them to be
Mm-hmm.
to 70%
Right.
and 30% potentially what you want them to be,
Right.
that's not a good mate for you.
Mm.
Too often we marry somebody that got 3 things that we want out of a man or a woman,
Right.
and 7 things we think they can work on.
Right.
No, you want them to have 7 things already,
Right.
and then we can work on the 3
Right.
as time goes on. Because if you marry somebody that is more potential person than they are the present person you're looking for,
Right.
you're not getting a partner, you're getting a project.
Mm.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
what you married. You married a
Say that
project.
That's
And you don't need a project.
Yeah. Right.
You need somebody to help you with a project,
right.
Right.
and not be the project.
That's oftentimes where 2, 3, 4 relationships later, you're like, okay, I think I
Figured out what.
Yeah, I got my
but
train-
you
take
know-
my training wheels
You know
off.
exactly what you don't want.
Right,
right,
right.
If you don't know what you do want, but you
Right.
know what you don't want. So that's
Right.
that's why I say it's school.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
You know, we
That's
you
great.
know,
Yeah, that's
don't
important.
give up on the institution of marriage.
Right.
You know, some people say, you know, things was going good, and as soon as we got married, and I don't
Right.
want to get married no more.
Right.
No, you know, when you don't do it, when you get married, you're bringing divine power with the bond.
Right.
Marriage is called holy matrimony.
Right.
It's a covenant connection. It's a sacred union.
Mm-hmm.
So when you come together in front of God and your family, then now you got God backing you up.
Right.
And
Right.
you can make it, you know, a little straighter than you can make it on your own.
Right.
So that's the goal of the book. I ain't giving no more of the book. I want somebody to buy it. No,
I mean, do you have some with you?
Great, man.
I mean, do you have
Great.
some copies with you?
I may have some in the vehicle.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I know for sure I have Let This Mind Be in You is out there. I'll look and see if I got any.
Okay.
That's great, man. And I want to talk about one more thing. And like I said, I talked to you prior to this, and I watched a sermon you did, you know, online. You know, it's about an hour and 34 minutes on Get Out. The movie.
Get Out, yes, sir.
That was great.
Thank you, sir. I'll praise
You know,
Jesus a lot.
in today's time, you know, it's arousing to see movies that show you kind of what happened, you know, with your history, and then some are subliminally telling you what's going on now, you know, and then, you know, give us your depiction of that, you know, of where we are today, and in regards to the movies that are being filmed and put out there, and the confidence that it's inspiring a lot of people. A lot of people were upset about Get Out, and a lot of people were inspired by Get Out. So I'll let you take it on.
The movie Get Out, I loved it.
Yeah.
It had to be one of the best movies
Yeah.
that I ever seen. And I was happy to see that the brother Jordan, that he was able to he only spent $4 million.
Mm-hmm.
And he's made 60 plus off the movie.
Yep.
They didn't even want to fund him when they took the movie.
Yeah.
to
Right.
him. He put his own little money up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like
Now he
Yeah.
Birth of a
Birth of a Nation.
They
They
Same
bought
thing.
that from him, though. They ended up buying it from him to
Yeah.
modify it a little bit. But Get Out, hopefully the theme that we got from it is the hypnosis
Right.
and the bigger picture
Yeah.
for the brothers
Mm-hmm.
is do not mess with Rose. Leave Rose alone. Do not let yourself become a victim of this new disease called Beckery.
Beckery.
You know, Beckery. No, it's Beckery. Beckery is the mental and spiritual castration of a black man due to his long-term relationship with a white woman. It is whenever Delilah weakened Samson. You know, Delilah was a Caucasian woman. She was a Philistine. Those were Caucasians. Samson was a black man.
Right.
Nobody could break Samson. But as soon as he moved in with that white girl, and she gave him the keys to that Ford Focus, and that unlimited credit card, he didn't have to go to work no more. He played video games all day, and she took him to Applebee's every Thursday. No, excuse me, that wasn't Samson. That was Pookie around the corner. But y'all understand what I'm saying. But
Ford
that
Focus.
tells us, you know,
Right.
stay away. You know, try to look out for your own sisters. You know, I don't know about anybody else, but even if you don't go scriptural with Samson and Delilah, or you go into the book of Genesis, Exodus, or Hebrews, deals with choosing your own. But when I see the black woman, she has been historically the most loyal woman to us of any other woman of any other race of people on the face of the earth. And I think about Harriet Tubman, I think about Sojourner Truth, Madam C.J. Walker.
Yeah.
You have to think about Rosa Parks.
Right.
You have to think about these sister soldiers that paid a price for us.
Right.
Think about your mama. Think about your grandma. Think about your sisters, your aunties, those struggling black women in your life, and try to find a sister so that you can keep them from being that kind of struggling black woman that your mother or grandmother was. That's the natural thing to do. We come from two different worlds, from two different experiences with two different kinds of natures. Is get you a good sister.
Right.
I don't know nothing on the face of the earth that's more beautiful than a black woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Absolutely.
I do understand it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the post-traumatic slave syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
It's the plantation psychosis. It's the subconscious mind suggestion that I have not made it until I can be with slave master's daughter.
Wow.
Once I do that, I'm
True.
officially there. I've arrived.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that inferiority.
No, don't. Yes, right.
Yeah.
No, we don't let them beckery you.
Could it
Don't
could
get
it
the disease.
could it be? And I'm going to play the devil's advocate a little bit. Could it be that we are the minority in this country? They are the majority. You know, oftentimes when a brother is coming from the hood and he goes to play at Yale or Harvard or wherever, he's surrounded by.
Yeah, Rose is on her laptop.
So-
Remember? Don't you remember Rose was on her laptop at the end?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Searching.
Looking for that athlete.
Yeah. So oftentimes, a lot of guys, grow up in these systems and these situations where, they're going with, the person that likes them because this person has treated them the best in their entire life. And I'll use two things in this because oftentimes when those men go off and do that, the sister is instantly, hey, what's up with that? And then it's almost like, okay, well, sister raised this brother. So does that come full circle? Like, are women raising these men the right way who are oftentimes growing up and becoming familiar with something that
Well, it could be a
feels
lot
good
of
to them?
mitigating circumstances
Okay.
that you can have that mix into the concoction.
Right.
But it is a principal choice at a certain point.
Right.
Right.
You make the principal choice.
Right.
The thing that we forget is, see, a Caucasian female is trained as a little girl
Mm-hmm.
that the definition of an ideal man is tall, dark,
And handsome.
and handsome.
Right.
There's some tall white men.
Mm-hmm.
There might be 2 or 3 handsome white men on the earth. I don't know for sure. But maybe 2 or 3 of them. But ain't none of them dark.
Right.
Right.
So the combination of tall, dark, and handsome is a description of that athlete.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
he's tall, he's dark, and he's handsome. So he becomes the fulfillment of what her mother and father programmed in her mind. Now, look at this. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the last trick of the white man would be the white woman. So they're trained as children to sick them on us because they know that our involvement with them is ultimately going to weaken us and make us less of a man than what we were. They don't have the hardship that black women have. They don't have the hardship that we have. So because they come from a support system that they're plugged into, when you plug into them, you plug into that a little bit too. So life gets a little bit easier whenever you with her versus when you with the sister who's coming from the same non-support system you're coming from.
Yes. Come on.
But when you find somebody that you're going to be in a relationship with, you call them your mate
Right.
or your match.
Right.
But what is a mate for a gray shoe? Is it another gray shoe? What's a mate for a black shoe?
Black shoe.
What's a mate for a black man then?
Black woman.
Black. So I'm saying that to say that the math is that. Now, what they don't realize that they're doing is they're eliminating themselves from the face of the planet Earth.
Yeah.
Because as soon as the black
Genetically.
seed goes into, or even if black anything touch it, it's black. So they're participating in their own genetic annihilation by pushing their girls on to the brothers. But I'm saying that to say this, that there's too many sisters that are out here that are struggling for us to go outside and mess with anybody else. No, it will weaken us. It will weaken us. I want to say something. I just don't want to mess up the radio. But I just.
No, you good.
I'm gonna say it like this. Have you ever heard of a gateway drug?
Yeah.
A gateway drug, they consider cigarettes. They consider marijuana.
Right. Yep.
Gateway drugs.
Yep.
Certain alcohols, gateway drugs. a black man with a white girl, that's a gateway drug to homosexuality.
Explain that.
Yeah, please do.
You never see real solid, strong, masculine black men with white women. They might start like that, but over time, they get a little soft. Then you on your way out of your what's happening, Samson? You used to push the temples down. I ain't got to work hard no more. I don't have to do that much no more. Everything's a little more easy for me. So you get soft.
Wow.
So I'm saying that to say this, that movie, Get Out, it had many deep meanings to it. That was one. The hypnosis was another one. Because what we seen is Christopher got hypnotized and didn't even know it was happening.
Right.
Do you know that the optimal brain level is measured in hertz? It's 40 to 100 hertz per second. The average human being right now is operating on 20 to 40 hertz. But guess what? Do you know if somebody hypnotizes you, your brain is between 8 and 12 hertz.
Wow.
When your brain is operating between 8 and 12 hertz, your conscious is so relaxed that your subconscious can be programmed and you can be controlled and not even know it's happening.
Wow.
So under hypnosis, you're at about 8 to 12 hertz. But guess what else they found? When you're watching television and listening to music, your average hertz is about 10.5 hertz per second.
Right down there with it.
You're under hypnosis.
Right.
So you've seen,
Look at that.
especially Sister Ebony, know, if you've seen a man gets hypnotized by TV, he's holding the remote, you talking, saying whatever, you can cuss him out, he don't hear nothing.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
What'd you say? You was talking to me?
Right.
Hypnotized.
Right.
So what hypnosis does, though, hypnosis, you can bring somebody out of hypnosis and they're still in it. As you see happening at the magic show. When you're at the magic show, they'll put somebody in hypnosis, they'll give them commands, and then they'll snap them out. They'll tell them that whenever you hear this keyword cat, take your jacket off.
Right.
When you hear this keyword dog, I want you to lay down and close your eyes. They'll bring them out, and he'll be like, "What happened? What happened? What's on?" No, everything's fine. How are you feeling? I feel fine. I feel fine.
Right.
All right. Well, there's a cat right over there, and you see the man doing like this.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
He don't even know why he's taking his jacket off.
Yeah.
Then that not only is there a cat over there, but I think there's a dog over there by the cat. He lays on the ground, closes his eyes. He doesn't even know why he's doing it.
Right.
But these commands are installed into his subconscious mind.
Right.
And they're used as triggers for control at will. What is happening to us as a people?
Right.
Willie Lynch.
Are there commands that have been installed in our brain?
Oh, absolutely.
That if I could play something in a certain song, if I could say something on the news, if I can put something in the atmosphere that it causes black people to act a certain way, get you to do what I want you to do. So what you seen in the movie was a flash of light.
Right. Right. Yep.
Flash of light snapped him back out. His nose started bleeding, and as soon as he was get out.
Right.
Get out. Well, in Scripture, light is law, light of truth, light of understanding, and knowledge.
Right.
So if you look at that, knowledge, truth, understanding, and law, how do we come out? How do we get out?
Flash.
Light of knowledge. Get the light of truth, getting us the light of understanding, and following the light of the law of God. Like David said, the law is a lamp underneath my feet.
Right.
So when we start following the law and getting knowledge and truth and understanding, we flash the light and we break hypnosis. We can do it because we're under it right now and don't even realize it.
Right.
Well, thank y'all so
Wow.
much. I've been really enjoying myself here. Hopefully
This
this
has been incredible, man.
Yeah, absolutely
Incredible.
I have to
Powerful.
watch Get Out again.
Oh man, I mean, so many different things. I encourage you guys to go online and Google YouTube Nuri Muhammad. This brother
Absolutely.
knows what he's talking about and
Absolutely.
speaks well and has it all put all together. You know, like I said, I watched the hour and 34 minutes.
Thanks.
You know, on that sermon, and I was just impressed and learned a whole lot. You know, but what we like to do, man, is closing remarks. In this time, we just talk to the viewers, those people who may be wanting to know more about you or know where they can find you, or something you just want to leave with them, and that's what we do.
Well, thank you. I want to say this to you and to the Gray Area Media Network, that what you all are doing, thank you so much for sacrificing.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank
You all could be doing other things that would give you a lot more money.
Yeah.
But for you to set this up as a platform to service our community, and as you said in the opening, I got chills when I heard the mission statement.
Yeah.
To talk about the things that your corporate sponsorship, or
Yeah.
you're too scared to talk about.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But we need to talk about them in order for us to become a free and independent
Absolutely.
people. I'm so honored for you all to make the sacrifice to do this. And I hope that others in the listening audience will know that these brothers and sisters have followed a dream and a passion, and they put in service really above self.
Yeah.
And that we would do the same thing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And we had an axiom before we came to America: each one teach one.
Yeah.
But we're 462 years behind now.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to change it a little bit.
Yeah.
Each one teach some.
Yeah.
So I hope that those that are in the listening and the viewing audience, that take what you know, or take what you might have learned tonight.
Yeah.
And remember this, Prophet Muhammad said the only knowledge that man keeps is the knowledge that man shares. So whatever you know, go share it with somebody else.
Absolutely.
And if each one began to teach some, then we'll have that village concept back again.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And since it takes a village
Right.
to raise a child, you don't have to guess on why this generation's off the hook.
Right.
It's because the village is missing.
Right.
Well, it takes a village to raise a child.
Yeah.
Question is, what does it take to raise a village?
Mm.
It takes a new idea, a new message, and a new teaching.
Yeah.
And I submit that I have a man that I know. His name is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. If you liked anything I had to say, you're going to love everything he has to say. He's
Absolutely.
that teacher of this time that can raise the village so that we can raise our children. Thank
That's
you, Brother
awesome.
Ray. Thank
That's
you.
awesome. Ebony Crow.
I was looking for, I had asked Brother Nuri, in particular, how many schools. I texted him and asked him just to get some more background information, because I knew, what I knew about Brother Nuri, but I wanted to get more information, and I asked him how many schools he's been to. And so his text said he does about 20 to 30 schools a year,
Wow.
about 30 to 40 radio shows,
Wow.
Wow.
and about 5 to 10 universities.
Incredible.
Wow.
And
Per year.
per year.
Wow.
And I wanted to mention that because I've always admired Brother Nuri's humility. So this is him, this is his stats. If he was I guess an athlete,
Yeah.
this is his stats. He has stats.
Yeah.
And you would never know it, and I just appreciate you coming on the show. And,
Appreciate you.
he didn't,
Yeah.
I don't know too many ministers that would. I'm pretty sure there are probably some that would ask for a fee, or, not respond at all. But he did. And it just, it's just a testament of the brother that I know. And I wanted you all to know the brother that I know, that he's a minister, but he's also a businessman, or how'd you say it? How does how does Jay-Z
I'm not a
say it?
businessman.
Man, I
I'm
am
a
a
businessman.
Right. And I wanted that to inspire other people to know that, the mission is the mission of actually helping our people is, it has so many different levels
Right.
to it. Whether it's writing a book, whether it's speaking at a university, whether it's ministering to people. There's so many levels. And I just wanted people to just hear you, and I knew you had something that we all could take from, And I just appreciate you for coming on the show.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
I've never heard Brother Nuri say no. I'm pretty sure he does if he really, really, really has to. But, we just need more people out in the community that are more yesers than
Yeah.
knowers.
Absolutely.
And then just to our listening audience, just thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for your support so we can continue to do this work of building people and building our community
Yep.
through radio, because again,
Absolutely.
there's so many different levels,
Yep.
and this is just the platform that we chose.
Absolutely.
So, you know, as Brother Nuri said, just find your platform
Yep.
and use that as your
That's
launching pad.
That's right.
There it is.
So much.
Absolutely.
There it
Wow.
is. P. Wilson.
Man, this has been wow. I mean, I can't even find words. I mean, I'm just thankful that you came.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I'll use myself as an example. You know, when I was a kid, you know, I read the Bible, you know, a lot. You know, it was never forced on me. And you know, it kind of gets back to what you said, you know, as far as you know, just finding what you were meant, you know, what you were born to do.
Yes, sir.
You know, I played basketball, you know, and that was like an outlet. You know, and a lot of people thought that I was great at it. You know, a long story short, when, you know, I didn't play any basketball in high school. You know, I didn't play AAU. You know, I was doing things, you know, trying to hustle at a young age. So I got noticed playing ball at a gym. And, you know, it was during my senior year, and I didn't know, but I just prayed and said, look, if I go to college and play basketball, you know, that'll be like the biggest gift ever, you know. And it happened. And I remember one day I was laying down in my bed, and I was shooting my basketball up. And, you know, I was just saying, man, you know, I made it. But as the ball was, you know, coming down, and I grabbed it, it said, man, you're putting this man before God. And that stuck with me. And, I mean, to the point where I came very, very close from, like, dropping out of college and going back home. And I didn't know what that feeling was, but I remember sharing it with my grandmother. And my grandmother said, no, you're being called to do something. Now, this happened when I was 18 years old.
Yes, sir.
But ever since I was a kid, you know, everyone told me that, you know, there's something in you. You know, you are supposed to be helping people or, you know, being a minister or something. So I've always had that in me. But I think in ways that I've been running from that. But when me and my brother here, you know, we created this platform.
Yes, sir.
This is like, you know, I guess part of that. But you know, and you know, I think about that every day because, you know, I was, you know, trying to go to church and like find that, and I would not agree with certain things that were happening. So I'm like, well, God, if I'm supposed to be a minister, it's not going to be in this pulpit because I don't agree with this.
Right.
So, you know, to, you know, anyone that is, you know, listening, you know, you may be skillful, man, at you know, at certain things, but what, you know, Brother Nuri was saying is that there's something inside of you that God put you here for. And, you know, with all humility, like, I'm still trying to find that. You know, and I pray and I think about it every single day. And so, you know, I would say, man, just keep seeking, you know, just keep praying, you know, keep working towards that, and just get around the right people that will help bring that out of you.
That's right. Thank you.
Wow. Amazing. And y'all always take all the words from me by the time they get to me. All I can say is thank you. No. But this has been so amazing. Like I tell all of our guests that come on, man, I learned so much from each and every person. Like Pat was saying, man, you know, we used to sit down and have conversations in a smaller room than this, you know, maybe like a 10 by 10, and we used to just talk all night about the things that's going on in the world and the issues and what's happening. And, you know, we said, you know what, man, people need to hear this stuff. People need to know what's going on, and then you turn on the TV and you hear the news and you hear the radio and the media, and you get disgusted by all the different things that's happening and all the things that's supposed to represent you and the people that you love and you see every day, and you have to do something about it, you know. And this is our way of creating a platform to help people have a voice in the community, a voice that isn't biased and controlled by media for 20 or 30 seconds, you know. So, you know, we want people to come to us. Let us be the platform for you so that you can reach more people. Our whole objective, and we have a meeting with our business counselors, the Mayor Group often, and she's always asking us, why are you guys doing this? What are you doing it for? And our whole goal is to reach more people. We keep saying that to her. She's like, it's got to be more. We're like, to reach more people, you know, and really that's what it is. If we can reach more people and we can change the narrative, we can change the nation.
Absolutely.
And we
That's
wholeheartedly believe that.
Well, thank you, brother. It's been my honor. Thank y'all so
Yeah.
much. And I hope that I can come back soon.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you, brother.
One of the viewers said we need to get you some
Right.
water.
So somebody said, let him eat.
We're going to find
get
the
some
nearest
water.
water fountain.
I got something in the vehicle.
You got something?
Oh,
Okay, so
good.
we're going to make sure we get some more. So thanks to the
Talk to
viewers.
the guy about some rollover minutes, though.
Thanks to,
about 7 tomorrow.
yeah. Thanks to the viewers. My man back there, man, he's just been chilling.
Brother Mar holding it down.
He hold it down
He's in the
over
same
there.
category.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So
Love
appreciate you
y'all,
coming
brother.
through, man.
I love you, brother.
Thank you.
Peace.
Thank you. To the viewers, we'll see you guys next time. So please share this feed. Continue to support the Gray Area. We're here for you, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Change the narrative, change the nation.
Like,
Put-
Welcome to the Gray Area. The Gray Area Media. We've obligated ourselves to be the voice for all communities, speaking on topics that include community, religion, education, politics, technology, sports, health, and wellness. The Gray Area Media is a platform created by longtime friends for the sole purpose of providing our communities with the ability to voice current, past, and modern-day issues. The Gray Area, in its naming significance, solely speaks to the area in which people shy away from speaking because of media-based constraints or contractual-based obligations. Well, I'm here to tell you, we don't do that here. So please, stay tuned in. We're going to go live in a few minutes. Don't forget, please add us as a friend on Facebook so that you can follow our live feed. And not only that, please add us on Twitter and Instagram at The Gray Area Media. Please visit our website at www.thegrayareamedialive.com. Thank you.